speaking of really, we're really live. Welcome back to the Walky Talky podcast, the podcast where we walkie, what Kamui is on the treadmill, while we
Yes,
talkie.
I should go ahead and start
We're
that
both
now.
talking. But hello.
What's up, dog? How y'all doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Good.
So
All
yeah,
right.
glad to be on here and stuff. This is my first time being on this channel, but I'm happy to meet any new friends that I can.
Absolutely, yeah. So Kamui, where did I find this guest?
That's why I was hoping you would tell me.
Okay, wow. Well, Kamui, if you remember Jay the Great, who we've had on the podcast before, Jay was doing a debate earlier, and he was actually debating our guest.
Oh,
right
is
here.
this the one that you sent me? Is this the one you sent me that link to?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's hilarious. I didn't watch it because you didn't tell me it needed to be by tonight. I assumed it was for next Thursday with Jay. So
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't watch it because I just assumed I had the whole week for it.
like to give you guys some context of what led up to this. So of course I kind of taunted him a bit because I know he doesn't really like to just talk normally with anyone, which is kind of odd. He's kind of I wouldn't say headstrong. I don't know what the correct word I should use because I don't want to sound offensive towards him. But he
Prideful?
doesn't like to normally chat with. Yeah, prideful. Okay, we'll go with that. Prideful. So I taunted him a little bit, but also I kind of did a big brother approach because of his little stupid kind of squabble with noodles or whatever, and I was like, dog, you need to stop doing such childish shit because you're above that. I mean,
Okay.
you went to college, you got a degree, you are doing well for yourself. You shouldn't do something of the likes of getting so low to fight some guy who literally dresses like a clown. Kind of do a big brother approach. Well, I guess that might have hit a nerve with him because then he was like, okay, well, if you're gonna be talking so aggressive and stuff like that, then I'll debate you.
Okay, so you were like goading him into it, like you were trying for a debate, or you were just saying that of your own
Yeah,
volition?
I was trying to go for a debate, but
Okay,
then
okay.
I also told him like, hey, maybe try to diversify your audience by trying out different things. Like, since he's into computer software, which he got a degree from, why not try to teach people how to defend themselves from cyber warfare? Make videos about that. But, I guess that just went completely over his head.
I mean, that'd be cool, but obviously he shouldn't do that on his Naruto channel, so you're just basically telling him to
No,
start a
no.
second channel.
Yeah, like that's why I said, diversify because if you want a bigger audience, you have to expand your horizons.
Well, that would just be a different audience, not a bigger audience at that point, but I get your point.
Yeah. So getting onto it, so he was like, "Well, what do you want to debate?" So since he is an expert on Naruto and I'm an expert on Star Wars, I was like, "Well, how about we do something no one's ever done before? Make a debate of Star Wars versus Naruto." And he would not agree to it.
Okay.
So I went with like, let's do something pretty interesting. I was gonna say, how about we do Darth Maul versus Sasuke, or more specifically, Heavy Sasuke? Because they would be in a relative where Sasuke is outrageously powerful, and Darth Maul, if anybody knows the lore on Darth Maul, he is no slouch in the terms of the Star Wars world. So I was like, it would be a pretty interesting debate. See how the Force interacts with chakra, and how the chakra will interact with someone who like a Force wielder, and the lightsaber, how that would give him an advantage. It would be a really cool discussion. But he was like, nah, I don't even want to do it. But I was like, well, you've shown interest of doing Star Wars before, because I've even talked to you about that and even suggested that on your live before. And he's like, nah, I don't give a shit. I'd rather just do Naruto.
Well, I don't know like if how much he's like well versed into Star Wars. Obviously he's a master of Naruto. That said, I will say if he was planning to do the debate like on his YouTube channel, I do think generally, again, I could be wrong in this, but I think generally it's probably a good idea to stick to one verse instead of cross verse. Just because I mean, this might just be anecdotal, like my personal opinion, but
Well,
because
I
I'm
even
only a
was,
Naruto fan, I haven't seen
yeah.
Star Wars, and so I feel like if I'm only one or the other, so like hypothetically, if I was only a Star Wars fan, I've never seen Naruto, I'm just not gonna click on a Naruto versus Star Wars debate because I only know one side. Like I feel like that's only interesting to people who know both, and that's a lot more refined of a niche to where it's just not going to be hitting all of his target audience, so it would probably be hurtful for his channel. But I'm just guessing here.
Well, then I also was gonna say, like I told him, like, hey, I can give you all of the aspects to even give you a generalization of how Star Wars works. Like I sent him like 6 to 7 videos of detailed descriptions of lightsaber combat, force abilities, how they interact with one another, like how a force wielder would interact with someone who's not adept in the force. You know, basically a general overall basis of how Star Wars works. And he just did not want to even try to attempt it. He just, I guess, was so adamant of trying to prove a point that, oh, I'll just beat you in a debate. So I was like, okay, well, how about we do Sasori versus Sage Mode Naruto? Because I've wanted to make a debate with someone like that for a very long time. And unfortunately, I had some life events happen that was, pretty shitty on my end, which made me not be able to have the equipment I needed on hand. So I had to resort to just using my phone and earbuds. While
Okay,
during the
okay.
debate, my earbuds died. So it was hard trying to bring up scans and trying to listen to them at the same time because I couldn't, for whatever reason, have the phone call be on speaker. So I was like, trying to fumble my hands trying to get the phone up to my ear, trying to look at scans and trying to juggle back and forth. So I was already kind of at a shitty starting point.
Yeah, no worries there. I mean, usually in debates, people aren't really watching the screen anyways. The scans would only really be for the debaters and the judges rather than like for the viewers. And since it was like a YouTube thing anyways, it wasn't like a serious debate in my opinion. It was more so for the YouTube channel. At least that's
Well,
how I
one
view
thing
it.
that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because okay, not trying to talk shit, because I'm not trying to be like a finger pointer or anything. I knew he told me, and he told me himself he was going to be more aggressive because he wanted to like really beat me. But the point where I knew where he was being more petty than actually being assertive was when I was trying to talk to him, and he's like, I don't care, blitz, 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 and I was like, dog, you won't let me finish. Like, I was literally trying to like, speak up and be like, hey, let me say my piece, let me say my thing. And he's like, getting and raising his voice. And then I was like, dog, there's no reason for you to raise your voice. We're talking in a calmly manner, there's no reason to be like that. And he's like, I could speak as high as I want, or whatever, whatever, getting really high pitched. And then at that point, I was like, okay, so now you're just being petty. Okay. And I didn't want to get baited
Other side
into,
of that debate, so can't really say I'm surprised.
yeah, because I've seen him debate before, so I knew how his approach is. But I was like, well, I'll give him the benefit of a doubt since this is my first time debating him. I'll still conduct myself and, be respectful. But right when he got to that high pitched voice and, interrupted me on almost every single thing, I was like, okay, I need to breathe and, take a breather because, this is just, for me, a random guy on the internet who I just wanted to have a debate with, and he's literally, intentionally being rude.
I mean, that is most debates, so I.
Yeah. And that's why we haven't asked Noodles to come on the podcast yet.
I mean, nothing against wrong with Jay. I mean, I see potential in the fella if he, tries to do different aspects like I said, like to do like videos on like computer software and stuff like that. I see potential in him. It's just this headstrong prideful kind of thing he has going on is for me is what sets him back in character.
I mean, I'd
I
say
mean,
he's
on
definitely
our stream, I
passionate.
don't really remember it, but on our stream, I'm pretty sure it stayed pretty chill, didn't it?
Yeah, he's chill. That's definitely how he comes across. But despite his presentation being chill, I would say he is a very passionate individual. He's very extreme in his beliefs. Um, and so I feel like that's that could be where the dichotomy comes in, but
I mean,
I'm
if
going
you
based off
watch
memory of
the
one stream
debate,
2 years ago. So
I mean, if you would watch the debate between us, you would clearly see like how he's even when I'm trying to find scans just to prove my points, he literally talks shit on me by talking to the audience about, oh, my opponent can't do this, my opponent can't do that. And I'm like, really, dude? Now you're definitely being petty for no reason.
so how many debates have you been in?
I've been in 3 official debates.
Okay. So I will say this, I mean, that's just is the debate sphere. That's not Jay himself. In fact, from what I've seen, compared to the debate sphere, which usually is very toxic, Jay was like the very minimalist, slightest bit toxic. At if that, like he was overall overly fine in comparison to the usual, and so I would say it's more of a debate thing than it is a Jay thing. I will say
Mm.
though, I do think it is, considering this isn't really your forte in the first place, and it just is Jay's, just verbatim, just straight up, point blank. Yes, I mean, I do think that's like pretty brave of you to like do that, and I do think, considering you're not like as well versed in this, I think you did handle yourself pretty well. I'm not gonna say that you did like the best of all time or whatever, but like I think for
No,
what it
I know.
was,
I mean,
it
I
was
know I'm
it was
still a
closer than it could have
rookie
been.
compared to all this.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I think you could, if you wanted to like get into debate. I see some potential there. I think you definitely could learn it pretty quickly. But yeah, I mean that's just what I
I
think.
mean, for me, I'm like more of a man of action. Like, I can fix cars, I build shit, I shoot guns, and I go fishing. But like, when it comes to debate, I can do it. I just need practice. And when it came to that, I thought, he would at least let me say my piece and I try to bring up evidence, but like literally on almost every single thing I was trying to say, he was just abruptly cutting me off on every single thing or say, oh, he won't be able to do that because blitz, 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 blitz. Or even when I try to describe something, he'll say, oh, it won't matter because of blitz. And I'm like, fucking damn, dog, just chill out and let me say something. Because I was like, fucking hell. I mean, I almost was about to say, you know what? If you're going to keep on interrupting me, then I'll just end this debate right here because I'm not going to debate someone who's going to be childish like that.
I got you. I got you. I mean, I will just say, generally, this isn't a overly controversial topic in the Naruto community. It is pretty universally accepted to be one side, and you did have the lesser side, in my opinion. I mean, Kamui, maybe if you have a different opinion on that, who do you think wins between these two, and do you think it is
I,
like up for
I
debate or
don't have a
controversial?
different opinion, but that doesn't mean I can't off the cuff try to present the opposing side.
Yeah, so
Well, well, that's why I was trying to present my pieces and, trying to, present my evidence, but like I said, he just kept on interrupting me on almost every single thing. And that's why we kept on going in circles because whenever I tried to make my piece, he would abruptly just, cut me off and stuff. I'm like, well, fucking hell, I knew you said you were going to be aggressive, but you're being a dick.
no, I okay. Well, to be fair, I think there is a fine line between aggressive and just being a jerk, and to where you can be aggressive without being a jerk. I think Jay was, to be fair, he was being aggressive. I don't think he was being overly mean because I think he definitely could have been really mean if he wanted to, and I could tell that he wasn't being that. Like, I
Okay.
mean, you would know since
I mean,
you've watched him for a while. Look at how he treats Noodles, and then look at how he was debating you.
well, the thing with noodles, I think it's mostly just more of a popularity thing because I see because me being a guy who's had to deal with people who are very aggressive in my life, from family members to the environment I've lived in, I've seen the very worst of how people can be, of how people bait each other, like seeing different behavior patterns. And the way he and Noodles try to go at each other, they bait each other and talk shit to gain followers to like, set up a grand um like a grand spectacle, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, considering it sounds like you've watched Jay for a while, you would know not only how he treats Noodles, but like you've probably seen him debate random people before as well, right?
Yep.
yeah, so like I feel like he treated you pretty much the same as everyone else. It's just that that's like the debater mindset that you have to be in. Maybe it was like different since it was like the shoe was on the other foot and it was like directly addressed to you. And if you're more of like the worker man of the car fixer guy or whatever, maybe like that was like taken a different way as opposed to if you're just like watching it like on a YouTube like as a third party viewer. That might be it, but I mean, maybe if you feel different.
Well, I mean, it was mostly just the fact of, I know how he is and I know how you can be commonly courteous to the fellow man. And that's why I thought, even though I know he would be aggressive, I thought he would be aggressive in the way of him presenting his evidence, not so much as stepping on my toes every single point and then, just abruptly interrupting me on every single thing. That's why if you watch the debate, well, I'm going like dog, 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 because I'm like, trying to get his attention by not, trying to sound like an ass myself by saying, hey, dickhead, or hey, jackass, listen to what I'm trying to say. I could have said that, but I didn't because I wanted to be respectful towards him.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Um, Again, I feel like it's also a thing of like if you're nice in a debate or whatever, and the opponent's being aggressive, then it does leave yourself open just to be walked all over. Like there isn't really that mutual respect. Basically, it's almost like a competition, especially a competitive sport, to where if you're not trying to destroy the other opponent, you're just going to lose because your opponent is trying to destroy you, and it's not out of like a personal grudge or anything. That's just the nature of the competition. It's like a boxing
Well,
match
that's the
essentially.
thing with him. To him, he took it personal. Like hell, I can even show you the screenshots of how our conversation went, and he blatantly thinks that, I was just trying to talk down on him and being aggressive to him. And I'm like, no, I'm just, telling you the truth, dog. Like I'm telling you from an outside third party view of what you present and how you conduct things, not trying to sound be like an ass, but sometimes the truth isn't always what you want to hear.
I mean, Kamui, what do you think? Kamui?
Can you not hear me?
Oh, there you go.
No, we didn't hear you for a while, dog.
Um, do you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what I immediately just said was I didn't watch the debate, so I can't really say too much about
Well, no, I
it.
just mean on like
Yeah.
what we're talking about, like how you see
Oh, well, I
debates
mean, you
in general.
basically, like, honestly, from my, so I've never done formal debates, but I can. And it's one of those things where you're either going to go into it with it's like Oodie and I, we do off the cuff discussions or debates all the time. And usually from the beginning of the conversation, you can just kind of tell it's either going to be we're going to take it from the like discussion angle of we let each other say our piece and just go with the discussion as is, or you can tell if it's going to be we're debating and we're just going to like not let the other side win. So usually we can tell what we're doing, but if it's a random stranger, you almost just have to establish in advance. Like, well, what is this discussion going to be like? And then you're just going to know.
Yeah.
No, but yeah. So no, but I feel like
Yeah, and
it's like if you're
go
debating
ahead.
Mike Tyson, he's coming at you with passion and aggressiveness because he's trying his best to win. And he's coming with that certain level of intensity that if you cannot match that, you just aren't going to win. It doesn't matter how good you are. If you don't want to hurt your opponent, not out of like, I hate you, but out of the nature of the sport, that's just the game right there. And so that's really like the high
Yeah.
level
And
competitive scene.
And I guess that's where I kinda am like that because, I'm not a very aggressive person. I may have a, cold shoulder and, tough luck, just put up and shut up kinda attitude, but, I'm, respectful and I'm very neutral in terms of personality. I'm a humble guy. I mean, unless you piss me off, like Royal pissed me off, then, just get the fuck out of my way because I'll steamroll you. But, that I didn't want to be like that at all, especially in front of a live audience and makes everyone think like, oh, this guy can't even conduct himself. He's like rage baiting or, whatever the guys say nowadays. I didn't want to come across that way.
Yeah, I get that. Okay. So what I think would be cool, because Kamui hasn't watched it yet, if you want to basically run through the debate with Kamui, maybe even like quote unquote debate against him and see how that goes on this topic, that could be something. If you wanted
I mean,
to.
we could do that sometime. Yeah, like a friendly
I'll let
debate. Not right
I'll let you
now.
say whatever your explanations are, and then I guess I'll counter. I'll just hate. But it would also be funny if we actually reverse the roles. You argue for pain, and we argue for sorcery.
Well,
Well, I
it
mean, the
was
one
Sagemo
thing that
Naruto.
was kind of annoying in the debate too is that he kept on bringing pain this, pain that, pain, pain, pain. When I'm like, we're talking about Sage Mode Naruto, about what he can do, about his feats, about his durability, and he's just bringing up pain over and over. And I'm like, we're not talking about pain.
Well, to be
Like,
fair, he would be using pain as a reference point. So, for example, let's just say there's this. This doesn't exist, but let's just say hypothetically, there's a scene of a sorcery and pain saying, "Okay, let's have an all-out race," and then they race and pain wins. And then later on, there's a scene of pain and Naruto saying, "Okay, let's have an all-out race," and Naruto wins. You'd be able to say, "Okay, Naruto's faster." So it kind of depends on what he was doing there.
yeah. I mean, for me, I mean, I don't mind. I mean, I said my piece. Yeah, I was under equipped and I couldn't find certain scans that I wanted to, especially when it comes to speed for story, like when it comes with Hanzo and some of the Sonin where I wanted to, exploit more on the speed for him. But since Jay just wanted to like step on my toes on every single thing, I was like, all right, well, we'll just go to the next section because like even I knew I was just trying I was just going around circles talking with him because, he would just not, you know, he wasn't being reasonable. He was just being too aggressive because, he wanted to make a point that he could beat me in the debate because, he was too headstrong and prideful.
Kamui, your response.
To be honest, I was responding to Draco again, so I kind
Same.
of tuned out for a quick second.
Yeah, same. Sorry. But
I mean, I don't
Immortals.
hate him at all. I mean, if he like, say if we lived closer and stuff like that, I even shot him a message after the debate was over. It was like, if we lived closer and stuff like that, and you don't mind, me being around you and stuff like that, I'll, bring over a bottle of rum and, just, have a drink together and stuff like that.
I mean,
Well,
hey, that'd be cool.
that's good. But
I mean, just because
anyway,
you have a disagreement about something, I mean, doesn't mean you can't be, hospitable and just, move past it. Because, like I said, this is like I even said when we were talking behind the scenes between me, Batman, and Shinobi, like, I even made a joke and said, this is just a debate about a few geeks talking about anime. That's all this is.
well, if there's anyone who knows how to do the thing you just said, it's me and Oodie. Every heated debate, we forget about in 5 minutes.
Yeah, we're really like a lot less not cordial, but just a lot less serious around here. We're a little bit more goofy. Not that we can't be serious or be passionate or be
Yeah.
heated or whatever, but like for the most part, it's not really overly
Well, we'll just
important.
blend all three all together. In the
Yeah,
most serious discussion, you'd be hard pressed to find us not throw out the most ridiculous argument.
yeah. It's not that we aren't good, but it's like we're a pro boxer that only does boxing as a hobby rather than be a part of the competitive scene.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
analogy.
Yeah. So we box
that
at a
is
high
how we
level
approach.
against low level people.
Like for me, I mean,
Or no,
it's like
no,
I
we'll do it
wouldn't
against high
mind.
level people, but not seriously. Like we won't
Not in the
play in an
boxing
NBA
ring.
game. We'll only play the 3-on-3 version.
I mean, if it was like, say, if like there was like money involved, like say whoever wins gets the purse of say $100. Oh man, I'll be cracking down like a motherfucker. Like there would be no way that you would have to like bring a unicorn and pull it out of your ass in order to beat me. Like if there's money involved.
I mean, hey,
Well, Six once upon a time said he was gonna do a YouTube debate journey, didn't he?
yeah,
I think he did at one point.
yeah, exactly. And so, hey, if it's for money, maybe I'll take it a little bit more seriously.
But anyway, if you want, we could do the Sasori versus Naruto thing. Either side works. You can do your side. We can flip flop for the hell of it. I don't care.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I'm just sitting in my car right now because I was working on it earlier, but I'm just sitting in here right now. But yeah, when I was trying to present also as like a big X factor for Sasori is the iron sand and his poison. Because I knew that see what I was doing against Jay, because the third Kazekage is supposed to be the strongest Kazekage of them all, right? Not even Gara during the war arc was even considered as strong as him. So what I was
I'm,
trying to do against him was that, well, if Gara in the war arc was on par against his father, Raza, and Raza was using his gold dust to suppress a tailed beast, the one tail, then he being weaker than the third Kazekage with his iron sand and Sasori killed him, that already puts him at a very high level of caliber of a opponent that he can take down someone who is that dangerous. And not only with that fact, the iron sand being completely doused with his poison, which is a neurotoxin, by the way, which if you don't know what that is, I'll enlighten you about that. But get back to my point. I was trying to use that as like a huge advantage that Sasori could use against Naruto because if he gets cut or gets any molecules of the sand inside of him or anything like that, then he's completely disabled for the fight because the poison is so deadly that it would kill him. Doesn't matter if he's a Sage Mode Toad guy, or doesn't matter if he was, unless he was in QB mode, then that would be different. But anything else, the poison will just make him go completely numb or almost kill him instantly because Sasori's poison is stated to be the most deadliest poison in all the Shinobi world, even worse than Chiho's poison, which she stated the only person who could heal opponents on the battlefield and make elixirs for was Tsunade, and Tsunade is stated to be the greatest medical ninja in the entire universe.
So I guess I'll just take the opposite side then for Naruto. There's two things I would look at there. One is that whereas during Kazekage Rescue, the third Kazekage stated to be the strongest, that doesn't necessarily mean that War Gara hasn't surpassed him. There's no statement indicating either direction. Second, actually, there's going to be three things. Second, I wouldn't say Gara was on par with Rasa, considering that not only did he beat him, Rasa literally said, "You surpassed me long ago." So they just verbatim stated that Gara is stronger. So all we know is that both Gara and the third Kazekage be stronger than Rasa. So it's kind of hard to say who's strong between those. Another thing would be, whereas, yes, if the poison gets in Naruto, he's going to die. You would have to, this is going to sound ridiculous, but can you prove that any of Sasori's weapons have the ability to scratch Naruto? Because the poison will not get inside Naruto unless he breathes it in, or it literally gets a scratch for the poison into the bloodstream. Because there's plenty of scenes of Naruto, just his bare hands slapping Pain's chakra rods head on, doesn't get a scratch on him, as well as a couple other things, I think. So you need to be able to prove that Sasori's weapons have the ability to scratch Naruto for the poison to even matter.
Well, that's what I was trying to get to the point with him is the fact that he is a Akatsuki member and his number one end goal is to face up against Jinchuriki and Tailed Beasts, which we know Tailed Beasts are some of like the most powerful beings in all of the Naruto verse. So of course they're gonna have very thick hides and very high durability. So if him being a specialized combatant in needles, blades, what have you, mostly piercing weapons, he has to refine said weapons to be able to take down tail beasts and chinchuriki. So that's why I was trying to make, well, if he can use his weapons that are made to take down, not even considering other shinobi because they're fodder, in comparison to him. I mean, he's literally called Sasori of the Red Sand. He has plenty of blood on his hands, plenty of battle experience. He knows how to kill. His main goal is to capture Jinchuriki and tailed beasts. So his weapons are going to be so sharp and so, more durable than, the typical kunai or anything like that. It would be able to pierce Naruto's skin. Because like I said, he's a member of the Akatsuki, and the Akatsuki's main goal is to go after Chinchuriki and Tail Beast. And Naruto is a Chinchuriki. So he would have the type of arsenal to take someone like Naruto down if need be.
So I get your perspective there, but I will say a couple of things. One, it doesn't seem like most of the Akatsuki are particularly familiar with like version 2 Jinchuriki forms because pretty much every time they see it, they are surprised. It's like the first Shikizame's never seen it before with B, Orochimaru's seen it for the first time with Naruto, and so on. So that doesn't necessarily mean they are prepared for something like a version 2 hide. Obviously, that's not Sage Naruto in the first place, so it doesn't really matter. But point there is they're not prepared for everything because they don't have intel on everything. Sasori in particular has never seen Sage Mode Naruto. The character didn't exist until after Sasori died, for one thing. So that doesn't necessarily mean he's prepared for a Sage Mode fighter. And then I would look at Jiraiya. The Akatsuki, pretty much every member aside from Pain and maybe Itachi, if you're going to say he's lying, which he probably is, and Obito, they all seem to just put Jiraiya on a higher level. So all the Sannin, for that matter. Orochimaru is already Kage level. Hiruzen was stated to be the strongest of the Kage in part 1, which is where Rasa would have been. And then Sage Mode Jiraiya is going from Sannin to Sage, implying it's higher than Sannin. Orochimaru's got a Hydra form too. So they all have a beyond Sannin thing, but they're implied to be definitely stronger than Kage level. Kage level is basically able to take on a Biju, at least for the most part. Rasa can fight Shukaku, the third Raikage can fight the 8 tails, and so on. Yagura literally tamed the 3 tails. So they all seem to, that basically puts the Sannin beyond Tail Beast level. The Biju, the Jinchuriki, in the minds of the Akatsuki is basically the Biju level. Which means Sage Jiraiya is already kind of implied to be over an Akatsuki member, besides like Pain, obviously. And then Naruto is supposed to be stronger than Sage Jiraiya, which puts him even further beyond most Akatsuki levels. There's a lot of things you could say, but long story short, just because the Akatsuki's plan is to take down Biju, that doesn't inherently mean anything in terms of Sage Mode Naruto, because they're not preparing for Sage Mode in particular. Someone like Kisame is very well equipped to fighting a Biju, doesn't inherently mean he's well equipped to fighting a Sage Mode user. You can argue that Kisame can't just take Sage Mode Naruto, but that's a separate point.
Well, that's why I tried to bring up the point of Sasori being above Hanzo, because when we all know how Jiraiya, when he went to the Rain Village.
Which version of Hanzo? The Hanzo that fought the Sannin, or the Hanzo that stopped training and was killed by Pain?
The Hanzo that fought the Sannin, because that was the last time Jiraiya saw him.
Okay.
So he knows how strong Hanzo is, because Hanzo whooped his ass, Tsunadi's ass, and Orochimaru's ass at their physical primes, because they were young, healthy individuals. They weren't old, like as they are when we see them in the Naruto series. So they're at their physical primes, not chakra primes, but you catch my drift, right? They were a lot younger, a lot more vigorous. So they were at their physical primes with an entire platoon of Leaf Shinobi, which we know that the Leaf Shinobi are averagely stronger than every other village, just because the Leaf Village has more military superiority and has higher resources. So we know that with the entire platoon along with those three, they were getting their butts handed to them by Hanzo. And when you see the panel of when we first see Hanzo, he doesn't even have a scratch on him, but yet you see bruises and cuts and scrapes, and their gear is all tattered and stuff like that on the three Sonic, and they're barely holding themselves together. Like even Tsunade is having to hold Jiraiya up because Jiraiya's in such a bad way that, he can't even stand. And yet Hanzo is just standing on top of a salamander, just like, yeah, this is another day in the ballpark. And then he's like, well, since you guys survived so long, you know what? I'll grant you this great honor of calling you the three great Sonic. I mean, that's just how much superior he was to them. And yet, even though Jiraiya, so many years later, attained Sage Mode, has all these years of experience or anything, still was, shocked and just could not conceive of anybody taking down Hanzo. Probably not
Actually,
even
real quick,
himself.
you can actually, well, you can make a very strong argument that Jiraiya, whether or not he used it versus Hanzo, already had Sage Mode when he fought Hanzo, because we know he's already been to Mount Myoboku. He's already been told about the prophecy before he goes to the Rain Village, fights Hanzo, and meets Nagato, because he's already knows about the prophecy at that point. So he very likely had Sage Mode and may have even used it against that Hanzo, just to upscale Hanzo real quick.
Yeah, because you got a fair point, because I forgot about that, because he went to the Mount Myoboku when he was a kid, because he was trying to do a summoning, but then got reverse summoned. So yeah, you make a valid point right there. So who knows, he could have used Sage Mode against Hanzo. So I was trying to use that kind of evidence, to hype up and show the type of caliber who Sasori is, because his grandmother Chiyo literally stated that she went blow for blow against Hanzo and survived multiple occasions. And
So
we
now
don't
I have
hear anybody else doing that. Go ahead.
So now I have three things. One, this is just ridiculous that that's even a fact in Naruto. But two, first is first is gonna be a point. The second is gonna be a question. So the first thing, you cannot prove exactly what state Hanzo was in when he fought Chiyo multiple times. He may have been at his prime, like the Sonic fight, or he may have been in that he stopped training state, like when Pain killed him. Because of that, we don't know enough of Hanzo, essentially, to truly scale. All we could say is his bare minimum, which is basically Mifune level, which is still really strong. Everybody knows. Granny Chu is a beast. She's one of the only people not to be sealed by one of the only Edo Tensei not to get sealed alongside Kimimaro. She just was too strong. But you can't say exactly where they get her. But now is the question. Would you agree that Sasori and Orochimaru are presented as rivals in the Naruto story?
Oh, easily. When it comes to that, like, I know how Sasori has a bad grudge against Orochimaru, that he wants to even kill him because he made Kabuto almost into a double agent, but he's really not. I mean, if Sasori wasn't so confident in his abilities, he would not think that he could take on and kill Orochimaru. And we already know how strong Orochimaru is. I mean, with both of his arms, he took on Hiruzen at a good point of the Leaf Village's history, not at their strongest, mind you, but at their pretty decently most capable, because it's been a while since war has happened, so they're fully stocked on shinobi and Anbu and all that stuff, because they haven't had a big conflict in quite a while. But yet Orochimaru and his whole army basically steamrolled the village, and he himself thinks that, well, even though I don't have shit, what's that bone guy's name again?
Kimimaro.
Yeah, Kimimaro.
The best character in the series, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah, shit. I have his own tattoo of his curse mark on my collarbone, dog.
Dude, no way!
Yeah, I do.
That's awesome.
I have his curse mark.
Literally
I
the
have
best
that
character.
tattooed.
Oh my god.
Is he your favorite character too?
So I don't know if you have like shared your face or whatever, but like if you could just take like a screenshot of your tattoo and send it, that would be so cool.
It's like the best tattoo idea, bro.
Do that. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
I would have to find it. It'll probably have my face in it, but I don't mind. I'll just have to find it real quick. But yeah, I have that tattoo. I'm also gonna get different tattoos. I have a yin yang. I have this big Gears of War Lancer tattoo on my forearm. Let's
That's
see.
cool. You're the first person to say they have a Kimimaro related tattoo, so we support.
Okay, so it has my face. I have my shirt off, but you don't see anything. But yeah, I just sent it right now.
That's cool.
Yep, I got that. That is my second tattoo, and I got that, and it only costed me $100, if I believe I'm right. Yeah, I think it was about 100.
Yeah, I don't know what a normal price is. I don't have any tattoos.
It just depends on which artist they go for, and it also depends on if you're paying, like if that tattoo artist or parlor, if they pay by the hour or they pay by the type of tattoo, because there's two different
Yeah.
ways.
That's dope. That's so cool.
Yeah, because I
I love
didn't
But
it.
want the
anyway.
typical curse mark that Sasuke has, because everybody has that, and I was like, what's one unique tattoo nobody has? And I was like, well, hot damn, Kimimaro's curse mark, because honestly, he's a fucking badass. Like, I wish there was
Let's
Exactly.
more stuff
go.
about him.
Well, let us direct you to the rewrites playlist of the Walky Talky channel, because we've rewritten things to give it more. I'd
Like,
love to see it.
so going back to the whole Sasori versus Sage Mode thing, I think we were at oh yeah, we were talking about Chio.
Yeah,
If I believe I'm
Orochimaru.
right.
Yeah, so this was
Yeah,
going to
with
get to the
Orochimaru.
point. So you agree, they're rivals. Orochimaru, even without his arms, seems to be confident on his end that he can take Sasori. So Sasori thinks he can win. Orochimaru seems to think he can win. They're pretty much implied to be fairly relative. I would argue the story presents Orochimaru on the higher end. In terms of just the narrative, he's the bigger villain. The Akatsuki, all the Akatsuki practically seems to treat Orochimaru like some big deal that kind of implies him to be on the higher end, but it doesn't really matter. The point is they should be fairly relative. This is armless Orochimaru. By all rights, Sage Jiraiya should probably be stronger than armless Orochimaru when he's not using his Hydra. Would you agree with that? Okay.
Yeah.
So if Orochimaru is relative to Sasori, Sage Jiraiya is over Orochimaru, at least in terms of overall combat, he'd be over Sasori. That doesn't mean Sasori can't be a mismatch, but Sage Jiraiya just would be superior. Sage Naruto's supposed to be superior to Sage Jiraiya, so that puts Sage Naruto over Sasori. So your argument basically has to be that Sasori is a mismatch. And is that if that's the case, that's fine. But that kind of has to be the core of your argument. Because by all rights, Sage Naruto is just the higher level of power and combat prowess.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree that he definitely has a more of a power thing when it comes to, like, say, more chakra or be able to output more power than Sasori. I'm just saying that Sasori has the X factors and certain abilities that can get him the win over
So
Sage
that's
Mode
right.
Naruto.
Okay. And that's
Yeah.
perfectly fine to argue. Because there's
'Cause, I mean,
many.
dog, when I got older, like, I didn't even know about Madara until, like, I was, like, around high school. I only saw, like, the first part of Naruto, when he was a kid, so I only knew about Orochimaru, and then a friend of mine was like, Orochimaru isn't, like, the big bad guy, right?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Well, have you heard of Madara?" And I was like, "Who the hell is that?" He's like, "Madara makes Orochimaru look like a kid." And I was like, "Really?" And then he was like, "Yeah, you really missed out on a lot, because I think Shippuden came out when I was like in middle school, going out to high school, because I graduated in 2016. So it's been out for a little while, but I think it was around when I was around eighth grade was when Shippuden was like either in the middle of the series or more towards the end. I can't remember.
It was
I
somewhere
feel
around
old
then
as hell.
because I was 2018 for graduating high school, and it was around a similar time. I don't remember specifically when, but
Oh, okay. Yeah, like, man, I
anyway.
feel old as shit nowadays. I mean, I even have my own I even have a kid, I've had my own house and car and stuff like that. And now I'm starting to near my 30s, so I'm like, fuck, I'm getting old.
No, speaking of kids, a future guest who will come on in a little bit has a kid, but that's not Immortal. Immortal, what's up?
I don't have.
Immortal has a dog.
Yeah, I'm not ready for kids just yet, but anyways.
Yeah, I would definitely say if you guys ever plan on making any offspring anytime soon, do it while you're married. Marry the chick first and make sure it's like 100%. Or else you're gonna have a very vile and bitter baby mama.
That is exactly my plan, because I don't want that.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way, but there's more to that story, but I don't need to talk about that here.
Fair enough.
But anyway, Phantom Redbeard, are you caught up to Boruto?
In the manga, sort of. The last time I remember catching up to it was when Boruto used that special Rasengan against fuck, I can't remember his name, where he used the gravitational force of the earth to plant him.
So he does this 3 different times. So do you remember what the character looked like?
It's the guy who can create like like he projects a piece of himself onto someone else. He has that white mark of his that's the same thing.
Yeah,
that
okay,
Boruto has.
so chapter 3 is where you left off, okay.
Yeah. Like he was it was when they're all older, they're like teenagers and stuff like that, and Boruto is I guess he's back in the village for something. I can't remember what exactly happens, but basically he uses that special Rasengan that can use the gravitational force of the planet to basically hold whatever character who gets hit by it in place. And it's like a super OP kind of like Rasengan that he made specifically.
So out of curiosity, this is interesting. So we're on chapter 22, just for reference. That was chapter 3. Do you have any theories for chapter 22?
Well, I mean, for me, from the way it's going, the manga is pretty decent. I mean, I like how Boruto is now serious. He's more dark. He's almost akin to Sasuke in some ways, because now he's the outcast. He's now having to survive out on his own, using only his skill set and whoever very few allies he has left to survive. So I like how it's such a huge dynamic of someone who was fed with a silver spoon to now he's like a battle hardened survivor, trying to make it in the world that he's now in. But from the way how the events are going, I'm trying to kind of keep an open mind, because it's like, who's going to be the next big bad guy? Like, who's going to be the next big bad who's going to make everyone be like, oh shit, we have to all team up to fight him? Because like that's the way it was, like with every single arc, there's generally that one big powerhouse who comes in and just wrecks everybody, or who's like a big powerhouse who defeats a certain character, or someone like, say, Sasuke defeats Itachi to reach that level of power, or like with Naruto when he had to go into sage mode in order to fight a big combatant like Pain. So I'm trying to figure out and understand who's going to be that guy in Boruto.
Do you have any predictions? Because I will say, we do have that guy currently in the story. Like, we know who is that guy. Any predictions?
I've heard rumors. It's like some weird guy who has like the weird symbols on him. He's like something connected to the 10 tails, or I don't know. He's like some weird dude who pops up out of nowhere. He kind of looks funny too. He's got like some cloak or something on him. I don't remember his name.
Well, you are correct.
You want to spoil it or no?
Yeah, I don't mind spoiler. I mean,
okay.
Shit. I mean, knowledge is knowledge.
Yeah, okay. So his name is Jorah, which fitting for the name means 10 demons.
hide.
Yep. So
Immortal, what was so funny about that name? You
what?
found that oddly hilarious.
Oh, what? The name Jorah?
You were dying
action. So it's kind of I didn't know that the name was 10 demons until I looked it up, and I was like, wow, that's kind of ironic because Jorah is the 10 tails, and the 10 tails can be considered. Well, he's an incarnation of the 10 tails. He's literally the 10 tails in human form. Yeah.
Huh.
Which makes him.
He is the 10 tails, but he's also the divine tree, but he's also not the divine tree because he's the 10 tails, but he's also the divine tree. And he's also not the 10 tails, but he's also the 10 tails. If that makes it clear.
So he's basically an embodiment of all of those sayings, but in a human form.
Yeah, and there could be a chance he might have some Otsutsuki essence inside of him. Something akin to, because he literally almost looks like Jigen. And I kid you not, he almost looks like Jigen.
Yeah, he does. He kind of has that same kind of facial structure and kind of like that same demeanor. And from like the pictures I've seen, he looks, I mean, he could be connected to Jigen. I mean, he definitely looks like he could be somehow connected. I mean, Jigen did use the 10 tails as a power source for who knows how long. So I don't know, maybe at a lot of time, using yin yang, maybe the 10 tails copied his human form off of Jigen, because he's only interacted with him for who knows how many decades or hundreds of years, being the only being who would ever visit him and just drain him of chakra. So why not just make a form that's similar to the one person you know of?
So what we learned in chapter 6, or I think it was chapter 7, is that when Code was splitting off the 10 tails, I think all the way back in chapter 73, he I thought it was the claw marks that made it possible, that gave the claw grime sentience, but it turns out it was his karma seal, the white karma seal that Jigen was trying to put onto the kids, and one of them was a defective karma seal that got into Code, but it still belonged to Jigen anyways.
Right.
So,
and he said that somehow the continuation of the Otsutsuki will live through him because of that mark.
Yep. So now we pretty much have the answer as to how Jorah and the Shinju, how Jorah in particular became what he is and why he looks similar to Jigen, because of the karma seal, and it contains the essence of an Otsutsuki. So
yeah,
I think that actually does make some sense in a way, because
doesn't the karmas also hold the very person's DNA, if I remember right? Because they're basically building their molecular structure from the ground up.
Yeah, and they needed to resurrect themselves back into a host body, so makes sense.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. So how tough, or I wouldn't say tough, how powerful is he? I mean, if he's like the kind of the human incarnation of a 10 tails combined with the DNA of a Otsutsuki, I mean, he has to be pretty strong, right?
Yeah, he's pretty powerful given what we're told about him.
He's currently, he's either one of three options: the strongest in the verse ever, the second strongest in the verse ever after Daemon, or the third strongest in the verse after Daemon and Ishiki. It's gonna be one of the three, realistically.
Yeah.
Depending on where Ishiki actually scales and what they do with Daemon. But
right,
yeah,
probably top 3.
We haven't really seen. I was hoping, it's so weird because I think Rai was kind of teasing at the fact that there was going to be like a Jorah versus Daemon fight, but it turns out he lied.
That's a great segue to us to repeat a podcast topic, because we've got some news for you. We have a big, actually thought out theory on why Daemon should be the solution to Jorah in this arc. Now, this doesn't mean Boruto
Isn't
can't hypothetically pull out
that
Momoshiki
android
or
kid
Awaken the
who's in,
Jogon or Mitsuki or whatever. Like, all those things can happen. But Damon should be the solution.
Who's
Now-
Damon again? Isn't he that one
Damon-
little android kid or whatever?
Yeah. It's the kid with the blue hair.
Yeah, he's
Okay,
yeah, he pretty much has the power to reflect any and all intent.
You know the best character in all of Boruto?
He's like a little Hellraiser, but he's terrifying to fight because of his power, and also he's immensely strong. Like he literally dogged Code. Like,
I remember that scene from the anime where he just looked at Code or something like that, and Code was like, this might be the one guy where besides Ishiki will probably kill me. And I was like, damn.
Yeah, because Damon is okay. So Damon's power comes from Shibai, and we all know that Shibai is the most broken being ever to exist in the Naruto
no, because
universe.
Damon is stronger than Shibai.
How? His power comes from Shibai.
Okay.
Shibai can potentially
Shibai
have
is he's like a celestial being because he's like, was it fourth dimension, fifth dimension? Because he's in
potentially
a higher state of being.
Yeah, he could potentially be higher than that if we want to conservatively scale him.
To be fair, I'm not gonna make this argument, but it is possible by a higher dimension. It's still 3D. It's just literally 20 feet in the air instead of at ground level.
Oh shit!
It might just be a high. It's also possible that like free game, he's just high.
Oh, okay.
Man,
no.
So Shibai's just smoking blunt.
But Immortal, why are you automatically assuming that he's weaker just because his power came from something else?
I mean, first of all, I'm not saying that. Well, here's the thing: Damon is no weak sauce, not even the stretching the imagination. But here's the thing: Shibai could potentially have other powers and abilities that could counter Damon. Though it's not really
counters Shibai's.
What do you mean?
What's he gonna do? Wave his hand and cause a storm and have it be reflected onto himself? All of his other Shinjutsu are nullified.
What are you talking about?
This is honestly the only real argument for Shibai is that through the power of omnipotence, he can just remove Damon's ability.
That's assuming that omnipotence wouldn't reflect onto him and remove his own ability, Kamui.
That's also true.
Literally. So literally omnipotence is the answer because he already has Okay, sorry. Let me calm myself down.
Yeah, but what if David reflects omnipotence onto him?
Let me calm myself down for a second, because you actually, in a way, actually just
coughing now. God damn!
My brother dying on the pod. What are you doing here?
Because when you said
pass, man, puff pass.
When you guys mentioned
not forget Boruto. If the moment Shibai thinks about, he has the intent to use omnipotence on David, it'll just reflect.
Exactly.
How can Damon reflect a reality warping power?
He's done it before! What do you mean? That's how omnipotence works. That's how reflection works.
What do you mean? Show me the panels.
It reflects Kawaki's mind thoughts. Kawaki imagined doing something. You don't know what he did, but he imagined it, and it reflects it.
You have to get off, Anthem?
Yeah, but I can probably get back on tomorrow, depending how things go. But I'm going to be helping a buddy of mine move some stuff around, and I'm planning to get up early so that we could just tackle that and just rest for the rest of the day.
Yeah,
because it's going to be some motorcycles.
You can always just join. You could always just pop it whenever we do a stream, unless we have a specific dedicated guest that's solely them. A lot of times we let other people join streams, so you can just pop in stage, put your hand up, and we'll add you on or whatever.
Yeah,
depending on
context. But sounds good.
All right.
Oh my god.
All right.
See ya.
Talk to y'all later.
See ya.
Later.
All right, so
anyway,
immortal.
As you were saying.
Okay,
So-
you kind of got me a little riled up when you said omnipotence, because I know for a fact omnipotence can in fact counter the reflection Shinjutsu
Why?
easily, no problems.
How?
Because literally Shibai already is a master with omnipotence.
Okay.
So
What does that
All
have
he
to do
has
with
to do-
anything?
All he has to do is think about what,
And then it's done. That's
all he has
you're right. I agree.
exactly,
That
you're
is.
right, Oodie.
That's
The moment
all he has to
The
do.
moment he thinks about it, it's being reflected.
Because that's all he's gonna be able to do.
That's
the beginning and the end.
moment he thinks.
Literally, like, if Shibai really wanted to, he can make it towards where, in reality, Damon doesn't even have the reflection Shinjutsu, and it's
And the
still.
Yeah, but the
Second
problem
he
is
does
Immortal.
that,
What
Shibai
if
doesn't
Damon
have it.
reflects that onto Shibai and makes Shibai
How can-
lose that ability?
Well, how can that happen? Damon doesn't
However,
have access to
reflection
omnipotence.
happens. It doesn't matter. Damon doesn't have the freaking shooty laser gun cannon thing that Boru's guard has. He doesn't have claw marks. He can still reflect it.
He can reflect physical. He can reflect physical energy, no matter what attacks. But I don't think he can reflect like a godlike power that can rewrite the entire
Immortal. He
universe.
can reflect Kawaki's mind. That's
can
not
reflect-
physical attacks. That's
It's
his
intent.
mind.
It is conceptual. It doesn't exist. It isn't manifested in reality. He's reflecting that.
So, okay, so he's. Oh my god!
Call it ridiculous, but it happened.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah, and he has that.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous power.
Oh my god! You guys are killing me with that.
Usually I'm on your side, Immortal, but I'm not gonna lie. I think we're really got a good point here. I think
Oh
we've
my
only
God.
proven. So you can argue that Shibai might have more physical power than Damon, but we're talking about a 1v1 versus battle right now, where Damon is fighting with the intent to win no matter what.
Yeah, keep in mind, I would bring up likelihood that Shibai doesn't even have reflection in the first place, considering he gave it to Damon, basically.
They didn't give it to Damon. They just violated his body. That's
Well,
what
you get the idea.
Excuse
You get
me?
the idea.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Hey,
What
hey,
the fuck?
station.
Immortal, that's
okay.
definitely one way to put it.
Okay. Well, yeah, so I don't think that
Okay.
he necessarily has it. I think he has a set number of abilities, and that those abilities were stripped away from him and given to someone else. That's assuming that, hypothetically, he even needs his physical form to be able to perform any ability at all. Like, how
Oh my
is he
God.
supposed to wave his hand to cause a thunderstorm if he doesn't have a hand?
Well, maybe he's like Dawn's spirit transformation, and you can just do it in ghostly form.
But he doesn't have a spirit either. He left it all behind, seemingly.
Well, I think the hypothetical here is that he put his spirit in the same dimension as wherever Damon's going to be fighting him.
Sure.
That said, I will give you this.
Well,
Immortal.
can Dan perform
If
jutsu?
Shibai has Dawn's spirit transformation, he does have a chance of winning because Dawn is the generational prodigy. But even that might just get reflected.
Yeah. But
The problem
could
is that
Dawn
Dawn
perform
is
jutsu?
too fast for every character in the verse.
Exactly.
including
Can
Damon.
Dawn's ghost perform ninjutsu? Or just any kind of jutsu?
They can perform
It's,
spirit transformation.
That is the
It's kinda
jutsu,
weird.
though.
I know.
I mean, it's kind of weird. I'm inclined to believe he can use jutsu, but that's depending on the rules of the Pure Lands, whether or not if that's actually a thing, or if the Pure Land even has any rules or whatever. I don't know.
I mean, even that, he's in the Edo world. He's in the human living world when he does the jutsu.
Yeah.
So I don't think the rules necessarily apply.
Oh, so
anyway.
now Kamui calls it the Edo world. Okay. Interesting.
Is that really
Oh,
what y'all call it? The Edo world?
That's what it is called. That's where
it's
Kishimoto
the
got the
technical
name
name.
for Edo Tensei. It's the Earth realm, the real world, the living realm. That's called the Edo realm in real life. That's like Japanese Shinto mythology or whatever. But anyway, it's the impure land or whatever. So okay. Moving away from that, I'm just gonna dismiss that Shibai doesn't have any abilities at all. He just is a ghost or whatever. That's fine. Just any intent he thinks of will just reflect onto him anyways. Regardless of that, though, narratively, Damon is in the next generation by like 1 trillion generations compared to Shibai.
Oh my god, I love this.
So, Immortal,
okay,
what's your argument?
I have a counter, but I'm not gonna say it.
Sorry, what was the question?
What is your counter to the fact that Damon is like 1 trillion next generations in the next generation into comparison to Shibai?
And as we know, the next generation surpasses the previous.
Okay, I think okay, Kamui, because you said it like that, I think I know your counter.
Yes. I said it that way on purpose.
Okay. That's actually consistent too with the way you think about it.
Yes. And I was very careful to not say a certain word.
That's so stupid. Okay, but Immortal, do you have a counter?
If Damon's kid ends up becoming more powerful than him.
No. If Damon is more powerful than Shibai.
Damon is the
Damon's
next
more
generation
powerful.
of
Oh
Shibai.
yeah.
So?
Multiple next generations.
Yeah, I like it, really.
What's your counter?
I don't know if he'll be as powerful as Shibai per se.
Okay, so that's
maybe that's
ignoring blatantly
he's the next
what
generation.
That's not even dismissing it. That's just you not being sure. It's just I don't know.
I can't.
That's the weakest counter argument you could have given.
So Damon is in multiple next generations from Shibai. And as we know, it's a theme. The next generation surpasses the previous.
You're really trying
here.
So
you're really
he's stronger than Shibai.
So you're basically telling me he surpasses a transcendental Otsutsuki god already that resides within a higher dimension.
Well, he's the next generation. Counter it.
I don't. Okay. How should I say?
I have one. If you give up, but we want you to try.
I'm just at an utter loss for words because I don't know how Damon could possibly surpass Shibai.
So you don't.
He's
have
the next generation.
Yeah, that there is your answer.
Yeah.
And you don't have a counter?
No.
Okay. Well, Kamui, if you want to present the counter now, I know you're excited.
We'll see who can recounter. Just because you're in the next generation doesn't always mean you're stronger than someone from a previous generation. Case in point, Hashirama and Madara were stronger than everyone for like 3 generations.
Okay, but that's the real counter, Kamui. If you want to say the counter that you were thinking of.
So,
well, okay, I don't know what you're referring to, but I purposely didn't say the word always earlier.
Oh, then you just weren't. Okay, we were thinking of 2 completely different things. No, that's just the actual counter to that. So, technically the actual counter is that the generation isn't referring to an individual, but the overall.
Yeah, it's the overall collective,
Yeah. So, that being said, the counter I thought that you thought of, which is hilarious, Damon isn't in the next generation. He's in multiple generations ahead. And you only surpass the generation prior. It's like 2 generations ago. Who knows? It could be anything. And that gets how the Hashirama's generation is stronger, because they aren't the previous generation. They're multiple generations ago. Only the last generation you surpass.
That's funny.
That also just scientifically just doesn't make any sense with how that would even work in the first place.
Yeah. That logic would fall apart, but that's okay.
That's what I thought your counter was going to be.
Now I wish I said that first.
Okay, so Immortal, since you just didn't have a counter for that one, maybe you'll have a counter for the fact that why can't Damon just be better at his abilities than Shibai was?
It's not the fact that he can't be better than Shibai, but I feel like that. Okay, I feel like that Shibai might end up being more better than it. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, because those abilities that originally belonged to Shibai, I feel like Shibai would have already have like a, you know what? I don't have a, you know what? Forget it. I don't have a counter.
Okay,
Because I can't
so
really explain it.
Shibai's level of it, but do you have anything at all to back up that feeling? Any kind of, it doesn't have to be something in text, just any inkling of any elaboration on why you would feel that way? Why Shibai would have a mastery of his abilities in comparison to Daemon?
I feel like that Shibai's would be more grander than Daemon's. Like his mastery of it will be even more far grander than what Daemon's could
Why
be.
do you
because
feel that way?
Well, it's mainly because he's been alive for over several millennia, which it's not.
Well, he didn't
we don't know
have
how
Shinjutsu
long
for several millennia.
What do you mean? He didn't have Shinjutsu.
Well, he wasn't born with them. He got them because he evolved by eating the Jaga fruit.
Let's also mention, though, that Moboshiki's Rasengan versus Boruto / Naruto's, Moboshiki's been alive for a lot longer than Naruto, but we just blatantly see that Naruto / Boruto's wins. So I don't think the amount of time you've been alive necessarily means your abilities will be better, even when comparing the same ability.
But considering that Shibai was obsessed with ascending anyways, I'm assuming that he spent a very minimal, as little time as possible as he could have with the Shinjutsu. Meaning that Daemon might have just had the Shinjutsu longer than Shibai in the first place.
Yeah, it depends on like when he got the Shinjutsu relative to when he ascended, which we wouldn't know. But we do know that probably when he got Omnipotence and Reflection, those are the two strongest ones we've seen so far. That should
So do you think he could have
be closest to his ascension? Because Omnipotence should just be the last Shinjutsu he gets.
Well, it's not just the last one.
Shinjutsu.
I don't think that Shibai just naturally ascended. I think he ascended as soon as he got Omnipotence, because I think he used Omnipotence to ascend. He used Omnipotence on
that's
himself.
Entirely reasonable.
Yeah. So, any counter there? Or the fact that blatantly we see all the time, whenever a jutsu is passed down, usually that person takes that jutsu and evolves it, or has a stronger variant of it, or just the base version of it just is stronger. Just no counter there, maybe? No, since it's just a thing all throughout Naruto. Oh, okay.
I mean, it is a thing all throughout Naruto, but this is like I feel like this is like I can't seem to get my words out right. This is like a completely new concept because I tend to stutter a lot, but it's just like when it comes to Shinjutsu versus Ninjutsu, I feel like that when it comes to evolving Shinjutsu, it might require a lot more from it than it does Ninjutsu, but I'm not saying that Ninjutsu isn't also the same thing.
Okay.
It's I can't. It's not the fact that I can't explain it. It's just not. I just don't see how Shinjutsu will evolve over time.
Okay. So, sticking with the idea that he used his Shinjutsu, and because he's an Otsutsuki, he relied on it. And as soon as he got Omnipotence, he used it to transcend, which means he hasn't mastered Omnipotence or anything like that. So, let's just say he's like, whatever, with the Shinjutsu. His stats should not be high. It shouldn't be relative to a Shinjutsu, that's for sure. Daemon blatantly should just outstat Shibai.
Okay.
Why would that be ridiculous? I just gave you logic reasoning, sound reasoning.
It's literally ridiculous because you're saying that you're saying he doesn't master Omnipotence?
He would only use it once.
He doesn't need to use it once. Otsutskis literally can use Omnipotence at their full potential. And and Omnipotence is like tied to their biology in a sense.
What?
Listen, when Momoshiki literally said that Ada can't use Omnipotence because she isn't in an Otsutsuki. He literally says this in chapter 79.
Okay.
So it's technically tied to potentially an Otsutsuki's biology, but not like they gain it out of like I don't know if they gain it out of birth or whatever. Maybe they had to evolve through.
Considering that every other Otsutsuki we've seen didn't have it, aside from Urashi.
I'm guessing my argument is like
forgetting the fact that it's a Shinjutsu rather than
it is a
Shinjutsu
ability. I know it is a Shinjutsu.
Okay, so by the way, let me just,
gain
before we go any
Shinjutsu.
further, let me stop you right there, since you just blatantly said something that you are just blatantly misquoting it, but you said that Momoshiki said that Ada can't use omnipotence.
Not saying can't use omnipotence. She can't use omnipotence to its full, I would say, degree.
Okay,
as
so
to a full-fledged Otsutsuki.
Immortal. Ada used omnipotence to its full degree.
She did use omnipotence, but it's not.
Well,
but
no,
it's not in the way that
to its full degree.
No, she did not.
You can argue she can't control it, of which I would argue against that.
She can't control it.
She didn't use a pseudo half miniature junior version of omnipotence. She used omnipotence.
Yeah, it's just that the way Moboshiki's saying it, at least, is that it's only activating off of her subconscious desires in seemingly extreme emotional cases.
I'm guessing she can't really
just do it willy-nilly, whatever.
She can't really use that will. Okay, I should backtrack on that one.
And she's not.
She can't really use it at will.
And she's not even Otsutsuki, and she's using the full version of omnipotence. So it's just a Shinjutsu.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull up something.
And again, if I'm correct to where he doesn't have reflection because Damon has it, Shibai also doesn't have omnipotence because Ada has it. Similarly, he doesn't have 10 directions, he doesn't have claw marks, and he doesn't have whatever else the other Kara Inners have.
So we're just gonna blatantly ignore that most of the characters that have Shibai's Shinjutsu comes directly from Shibai.
So are we ignoring the fact that Naruto's Hashirama arm comes from Hashirama and Naruto eclipses Hashirama?
That's Hashirama, not Shibai.
So I will say,
so where did my analogy fail?
Real quick, I disagree with what he's saying, but his point is basically that they more or less, quote unquote, stole those abilities. As in, Shibai lost them because they gained them. I don't think that is the case. Because with the Hashirama examples, Hashirama wasn't alive, but when he's at Odense, at least he still has it.
Well, Kamui, what I'm saying there...
The other examples can be Orochimaru. Whenever Orochimaru gives away his chakra for curse marks, or when Kabuto, starts taking a scalpel and scraping off his cells, Orochimaru, you could say he lost chakra because he reabsorbed it back, but he didn't lose his abilities. So I don't think Shibai would lose his abilities over it. Although you can argue he loses power, but he doesn't have a body anyways, honestly. The only reason he should lose the ability would be if just losing his body makes him lose the ability.
Exactly.
Because, and I'm actually going to make an argument.
That's what I think.
You might call this ridiculous, but I'm going to make an actual argument. As we know, Shinjutsu uses chakra. What is chakra? Physical and mental energy mixed together. Shibai lost his body because he just doesn't need it anymore. Shibai should be exclusively spiritual energy, which means if there are abilities he can use, unless they're going to break the lore, he should only be able to do things like yin release techniques, so shadow possession, genjutsu, Dawn's spirit transformation, and so on. He shouldn't be able to do a Rasengan that requires physical energy. He shouldn't have that because he doesn't have a body, which means he doesn't have physical energy, because physical energy comes from the body. It's the point. The body and the mind. He doesn't have the body. He only has the mind.
In fact, just pointing towards something, I would argue the War Arc Ghost spiritual version of Hagoromo was weaker than alive Hagoromo. So, there you go.
So this is where you start to get into the Naruto makes no sense aspects, because Hagoromo definitely gave physical energy to Naruto, at least. He has the Yang seal. Hagoromo's not a bot. He shouldn't be able to do that. Granted, you can make some arguments to make it make sense, but at face value, it doesn't sound like it makes sense. So what am I going to argue to make it make somewhat sense? Well, Hagoromo could only manifest when pieces of his body were there on Earth. So, for example, Madara essentially was a piece of his body because there was the 10 tails, Madara, Indra, Ashtra, Chakra, and so on. So, literally,
in the tree,
Hashirama cells were the Ashura body part that led to the physical energy component. So, they were on Earth, as ridiculous as it is. All those components were on Earth for him to manifest, and that's the way you get around Hagoromo's ghost having physical energy when it's a ghost. But Shibai doesn't have that scenario right now because he's just not next to his body. It's not floating over. King of Chaos!
You still talking about Shibai?
Yes,
Yeah,
why
he's
Damon is stronger than
Damon.
Shibai. What do you think about that, King of Chaos?
Hagoromo's body having physical chakra. I mean, so their spiritual chakra. I mean, isn't chakra just yin and yang energies? Like yin being like the spiritual side of it, and yang being the physical side of it. I mean, with the Ten Tails tree being there, I mean, and Madara's body serving as a pseudo vessel. Yeah, I mean, I guess that would make. I feel like it makes sense.
Exactly. That's how you would explain Hagoromo's case. But in Shibai's case, he's not in the same realm as his body, just blatantly a different dimension. Mm-hmm. So Shibai, in his current dimension, shouldn't have, assuming Amado's correct, because Mabushiki said he's in another dimension. So assuming both Mabushiki and Amado are correct, Shibai, in that other dimension, shouldn't have physical energy.
Yeah, so
hold up. That's not true. Wait, that's not true. Ino can literally, the whole mind transfer jutsu kind of stops that though, doesn't it?
Why?
You're not in your body.
You're in somebody else's body.
No. My point is, Ino's mind transfer jutsu is purely yin release, purely spiritual energy. It doesn't use physical energy.
Then why is her body hurt if she gets punched? If the body she's possessing gets hurt, then
because the jutsu makes no sense. But
no. I'm cooking right now.
Okay. I'll give you more. Okay,
I'm making sense there.
Okay. So the actual.
I just got here. I barely even knew the conversation.
Okay, so the actual answer would be, okay. You have to admit that was the funny response, but the actual answer is because obviously Ino's mind and body are, even though they're not literally in the same body, they're still connected. They're in the same universe. They're not in another dimension, whatever. Like, they are connected. So if you kill Ino's, so basically what's happening is if you kill Ino's body's dead. So Ino's just gonna die.
Yeah, conversely,
if you kill Keen, what's happening is you're killing Ino's mind, basically. And for some reason, it reflects onto Ino. It shouldn't reflect. What should be happening is Ino's, just to make this make a little bit more sense. Imagine Ino's little ghost mind thing inside Keen's body, the sound girl. Imagine Ino, you just see that the black and white ghost Ino.
Okay.
That Ino, the black and white ghost Ino, should be getting like the bleeding lip, not physical Ino. That's how it should be. But it doesn't really matter. The point is that they're connected. But
well, Kamui, I have a stupid explanation.
No,
we could explain this through quantum entanglement. Yeah, are we down?
We could.
Another instance in Naruto? Quantum entanglement?
Well,
yeah,
since Boruto,
you know damn well my IQ can't keep up with whatever that is. You know damn well I can't keep up with this.
Yeah.
Oh, so King of Chaos, how the heck do you have such a fancy avatar?
Oh, so I'm a Marvel Rivals sellout. Well, I'm not. I'm a gaming sellout though. I did decide to. So a little small thing. Editing is for anime and manga is not only expensive, but time consuming, and it's much easier to game now that I've got the Prince of Chaos here. Than it is to sit down and like actually edit my own videos, and I damn sure can't be paying anyone to do that anymore. So now I'm kind of just been going on the gaming grind lately for a lot of my channel, and because of that, I got this cringy ass Ultron icon for Discord. I don't know why they gave it to us. It's kind of stupid. But...
Did you do a quest in Marvel Rivals?
Yes.
Yeah, I did I did the exact same thing. That's
now I'm looking at it. Okay, Immortals is doing the same thing. It's just King of Chaos's thing is red, so it blends together more seamlessly.
Oh,
wouldn't that be a reason to notice Immortals that pops out more?
Yeah.
Well, I just didn't know what was happening on Immortals, but with King of Chaos, it just made so much sense that I had to want to.
Immortals
was pretty confusing to understand.
Also, whoever has the Jump Force profile pic for their Discord thing, you're goated. Totally based. I see you. Hey Station. I see you. I see that. I see the CAC.
You already know, man.
Of course.
Most OB character in the verse.
Oh, of
You know,
course.
actually, King of Chaos, I think you and Hay Station have a lot in common. I'm sure Oodie will figure out where I'm going with this. But
is he black?
Well, besides that,
Did you
Hay
replace me?
Station, do you know who? Do you realize who Hay Station is? You know, he's kind of like an OG meme. Not like Hay Station himself being the meme, but like he's a big part of an OG meme on the Walky Talky podcast.
Well, let me put it to you this way, King of Chaos. Someone
and I think you have a lot of experience.
No way.
King of Chaos.
No way.
You have a lot of experience now with that meme.
And in fact, so does Cam.
I'm gonna guess.
That helps.
I'm gonna guess.
Yes, I want you to guess. Perfect.
There's no. Is it Trippy?
No. It's not Trippy. Okay, yeah.
Imagine if that was.
Ooh, you almost make me. I mean, Kamui, you almost made me fucking wake up my kid.
Well,
that would have been hilarious.
King of Chaos.
No way.
Someone you've recently talked about and Cam share something in common.
Something common and Cam in common.
Let's just say you wrote about it in a Discord message. This event that happened to you.
I
had a kid.
Well, it's related to your kid. It
Who
involves
is this guy? Is this my son from the future or something?
Something to do with what your kid did.
My kid? What did he do? Oh,
son from the future.
R. Kelly'd me? You mean that?
No, not that part.
Well, the other way of wording it.
When he peed on me?
Well, the other word that's not pee that he did to you.
When he crapped on me?
Yeah, so you know, if you were to describe what in one word what his diaper was like, what would you say?
Poopy?
Hey,
okay, he had a poopy diaper.
He did it. He got
and
it.
Hey just the poopy diaper guy.
Yo.
I'm so lost. This was the longest setup. So it's not Trippy, is what I'm hearing.
Correct.
Well,
but that being said, we
here.
did give Cam one of these for her birthday.
Huh? Just say what the hell it is. I'm so confused.
A poopy diaper.
Did that for her birthday,
what?
bro. That's crazy.
I'm so lost. You guys have to remember, I've only had like 3 hours of sleep the past 6 days.
You know,
so, like,
King of Chaos, would you ever give Cam a poopy diaper for her birthday?
I mean, there's one upstairs in my son's room. Sure, if she wants one, I guess. That's kind of weird.
Perfect.
Well,
she could really use another.
Whether she wanted it or not, we definitely did give it to her.
I'm so confused. What are you guys talking? What is this inside joke?
We got Cam a birthday present.
Cam's birthday present was a poopy diaper.
I'm so confused.
We mailed it to her.
Wait, what? Are you being literal?
Yes.
No, you're not.
Bro, they did it on stream, bro.
They did not.
View this. It's still public.
It's fucking not. Oh my goodness, what is wrong with you guys? She gonna attack
if it
y'all.
makes you feel better, it was a good smelling poopy diaper.
What? There's no good smelling. Oh hell nah.
It's because it was a scentsy poop emoji inside the diaper.
There was a what?
It was a scentsy. You know, like those car things you hang in your car to make your car smell good?
Car freshener.
Yeah,
it was one of those, but the shape
Scentsy.
was a poop emoji. If you put it inside a diaper and gave it to her.
I hope she finds you guys and harasses you.
She's been doing that for the last 10 years.
Yeah,
she finds us charming.
Great. Where is she? Why isn't she here? I finally pull up after being.
She's probably hanging out with Sour.
Sour? I don't know who that is, but shout out to Sour. I thought we were going to talk about how Boruto chapter 222 Boruto 2 Vortex chapter 22 makes no damn sense or something. That's
I'm glad we agree, King of Chaos. So
I love
that. Perfect segue.
For starters, how did Jiren miss when he shot Boruto further away in a more lethal spot? No, we gotta address this.
Yes.
Sorry, not Jiren. Whatever.
You know what? That's fine. Let's call him Jared from now on, because that's
Jiren.
That just makes no sense.
I said Jiren, like from Dragon Ball Z.
Close enough. Let's go with Jared anyway.
Yo, actually, you wouldn't be that far off because Boruto does borrow elements of Dragon Ball Z.
I'm just saying this guy's an overwhelming force. Like, he's not mean, he's not to death. He just wants to pack them up. But like, Jiren shot him further away before. But now that he's right in front of him, now that he's closer, I'm gonna miss. And he not only didn't hit Konohamaru or Boruto, but that one didn't even blow up. But the next attack he did was an actual bomb. That doesn't make sense to me.
Thank you.
And I feel like we gotta talk about that.
Just keep in mind, we can't see the village from this distance. Like I just want to let you sink in how far Jura is.
I can get good estimation on that.
And Juro was like, "Oh shucks, I was off by 0.5 millimeter. Oh man, I can't believe I missed."
Vitals.
And he stopped her though. He hit her. He hit her in the arm.
Exactly. Too.
But he couldn't hit a closer target. Come on, he did that on purpose. That was a pump fake.
I'm saying, nonsense.
Like I understand that Jura isn't right in front of Boruto. But Mitsuki didn't get that far from Konohamaru.
No, they're not. You gotta be within 2 miles tops.
Bro, they're across the sand dune. They're within screaming range of one another.
I mean, I'm being generous with 2 miles. I'm trying to be realistic. Like, shit, maybe she walked further. I don't know. I mean, like, damn. But there's no universe. He just misses. And there's no explosion. There's no bomb.
But yeah, Delta commented on how ridiculous it is that he was taking shots from that distance.
Bro, the fact that Ikimoto wrote that in, I can't believe it.
What?
Do you think that's literally just in Jorah's character to just play around with this prey?
This isn't playing around.
Jorah didn't want to hit Boruto.
I'm saying that he's playing around. I feel like that. I feel like he's just not taking this seriously, and maybe he's just.
He literally planted a trap for his homies to get caught up just to get Boruto.
Him playing around wouldn't be missing like that.
You know what? Yeah, I think Jorah just. I think Jorah kind of just sucks at sniping. Jorah kind of just sucks at.
He hit him further.
He's not a professional sniper.
He's not a professional sniper, bro.
He's a Steph Curry of Boruto. How can he suck at sniping?
Bro, look at what
looking at the screen.
I'm sorry.
He's bad at sniping.
Are you looking at the screen?
This distance.
I mean, he managed to hit Sarda in her arm.
The fact that he hit from such a distance was even brought to our attention. They're like, "Hey, wow, he took a shot from there." Like, come on, that's a highlight.
Immortal, this is coming out of nowhere. Immortal, you have not once pretended like he sucked at sniping before this past month for the past year.
Okay, listen.
Hey, KD ratio, bro. It's okay.
I know. Right now, he doesn't have anything on his KD ratio just yet. I'm still waiting for
He's got
I'm still waiting for him to catch a body.
He's 2
I'm
for 3.
Listen. His accuracy right now.
He's 3 for 4.
Yeah, I think he has a 50% accuracy.
He might have a 50%. He's hit everyone but Boruto that one time. Wait, no, he's 5. It keeps going every time I think about it. He hit Sarda, Himawari, Boruto. Shit, what else?
Okay, those are just hit markers. He didn't finish the kill.
Just hit markers.
I know he had a clear hit marker on him, and he hit and he missed a vital spot. He was trying to kill him, but he missed. I don't know why. You all know that if Boruto actually died, they're gonna find a way to bring him back to life.
Yeah, and I'm waiting
they did it before. Sadly,
just like they already did.
Ray Tensei.
Nonsensical random excuse they could
just have Momoshiki's Renegon pop up on his palm.
Listen.
Hold up. The Rene Rebirth is all jutsu are just copies or imitations of Shinjutsu. So the Rene Rebirth has another jutsu that's a Shinju of it. Correct?
Yep.
It better not be karma because that's bullshit.
What do you mean?
No, I feel like.
Whoa. He's right. It's karma. No, it's karma.
Oh, wait, Kamui, go back to that page. Go back to the previous page. Right. Okay, stop right there. Okay. On the right middle panel, to the onomatopoeia to the top left of Chocho, doesn't that look like Boruto's pendant or whatever?
Yes.
Kinda. Let me zoom in.
Okay, sorry, we can continue.
I'm confused. What do you mean? Little onomatopoeia that
The one that's flying in the air.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, what?
Yes, yeah.
So what I'm
You
trying to
mean,
look for, though, is if there's any
time
line of
travel?
dialogue saying how far away they are from the village.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I feel like someone's got to say it at some point, right?
I don't think so.
I mean, they flew. I don't care how fast you're running.
I mean, they flew out of the village. Like, they're objectively just out
Yeah.
of the village.
Yeah, they flew. Like that's not a short distance, and it's not like Damon or Kawaki were able to make up the distance that quickly either. So
Exactly.
I mean, shoot, Boruto. They were hold on. Kawaki's flying slower than Inogene's because they were flying there with Delta. Boruto speed blitz past them, gets there before them.
Kawaki's trajectory is the most nonsensical thing of all time. He was flying there and then off screen decided to fly back in the opposite direction.
Wait, what happened?
Just left Delta behind.
And Delta continued going for no reason.
I don't know, man.
Why
Like,
would
unless
you just
Inogene's
do that?
faster than Kawaki's flying.
Like,
which I don't know if I'd be mad at that, actually.
Considering that Delta
That would mean his
refused to fight
flying bird is
Boruto...
Otsutsuki level, bro.
No, bro, because Delta refused to fight Boruto after Boruto beat up Kawaki. Why was she even going there alone to face Jura?
I mean, she's probably she was observing Jorah, wasn't she?
I mean, someone had to go. I think.
No, they didn't.
I don't think she.
Kawaki
I don't think she was
didn't.
gonna face Jorah. I don't think she was gonna face Jorah all by
Why did
herself.
she even go
She's gonna
there?
check on Himawari?
What, to
Or
watch
maybe they don't know.
Jura? To hope Jura doesn't go
they
after
don't-
her?
I mean,
Huh?
I think she was it was a scouting thing, right? I mean, someone has to go.
Exactly.
To do what?
And she can
Someone
be
has to
revived.
figure out what's
To
going
do
on.
what? He's standing there by himself. Himawari's
She
not
can
there
observe-
anymore. That's
Listen,
why
listen,
Kawaki turned around.
Jorah is an Omega 11. Jorah right now is an Omega 11 threat. Omega 11. Ow.
Kawaki turned around.
Okay,
because
but here's the
Himawari's
so
not there and
whereas
Boruto's in the
yes,
village.
it makes sense to like
To do what?
watch Jura.
For why?
At the same time, they know that Jura can teleport with claw marks. Hidari has claw marks on the other battlefield. Jura could have
Well,
just
they don't know that at the
teleported
time.
back and left Delta.
Wait.
in the
They
dust at
don't
any
know this
time.
at the time. They don't know this yet because this is the first time they've met the Shinju. This is before they interrogate Boruto and get information.
But there's no but they've seen Hidari using the claw marks. There's no reason to just assume
haven't
Jura
commu-
can't.
they-
Their
but they
default
haven't-
assumption
they
should be the
haven't
Jura.
communicated yet. Because guess what? Like when this was happening, you had two different teams fighting two different people. Hidari was fighting Sarada and them, and you have Jura fighting other people. They didn't have. There was no time for communication. Is there?
Fair, I suppose.
Yeah, they didn't have time to talk. Yet.
But they,
It doesn't matter if they have time.
he also is
What
just
are they gonna
wary.
talk
Eno
about?
using the information.
First
Hold
of
up.
all-
Eno communicated.
So who's Delta going to talk to? Because she doesn't have any way to communicate in the first place.
Yeah, she
Yes,
does.
She's talking to
Yeah,
Claw
she does.
here.
Well, she's communicating right there. She's saying, "For real, he's taking shots from there." She was talking to someone when she said,
Yeah, because Delta,
She might have
Claw
headsets.
is Delta
Okay.
report.
earpieces or
Eno just
Okay.
has everyone cooked up.
Okay.
She has
okay,
to have
you
earphones.
got me there.
Wait,
Literally,
it can't be Eno.
Forgot
It can't
that
be Eno because Eno
panel
would have
existed.
communicated that. That would be something worth communicating.
Okay. So
Okay, well,
Delta
the sensory
communicated
team in
Kawaki.
general, everyone's just hooked up
yeah.
to the
Okay.
sensory team.
Well, somebody should. I thought there were headsets. If it's the sensory team, I'm confused why the hell they didn't explain
But
that.
still, like,
because it would make sense that they
If
would know.
Kawaki is
I'm
focused
taking
in
my pick back then.
mid-combat, similar to Boruto, who randomly can't teleport long distances because he's too focused on combat right now, then Delta, it doesn't matter if she can report in if Kawaki is fighting Jura.
I mean,
so just real quick, King of Chaos, what do you think about, let's just go look for this real quick, because Koji says it in one of the
Let me
chapters.
also add in the fact that Delta just didn't report in. Why did Kawaki have to ask? Delta was watching. She didn't say anything about the fact that Jura is, like, preparing to snipe them.
unless it was that quick, which is even scarier, but
But you
It
can
might have
see
been,
the
yeah.
lines going to Jura's, like,
no,
eye
if that's the
thing
case.
to
He could have
fire.
just fired off multiples of those shots. That dude has infinite
Exactly,
chakra.
especially in
There has to be some prep time. It's probably
this
just the secret
chapter,
prep.
the other chapter here, 22. He could have just kept sniping Boruto from a distance until he hit.
Yeah. If he has so he can't have unlimited shots. He's got to be some type of limit.
Okay.
I don't know, but he can move really fast, as shown in the code chapter when he just sniped his arm off in a half a millisecond.
Yeah, he might not have unlimited chakra, but something tells me he has. Something tells me he has more chakra than half the Ninetales, who is firing off Biju bombs like minigun turrets.
True, but these are special ones. Aren't these special like lasers? Like, I mean, this is a laser. This isn't just a bomb.
Come on, we're not saying this has
like a laser
bombs.
a trillion units of chakra.
That ain't no bomb. That's a laser.
Bro, this probably has less chakra than a Rasengan.
That's a straight shot from his eye to the point. That's crazy.
Wait, what was the one that he shot at when he shot it at Boruto and it was like a large explosion behind him? Was that a bomb? Or was that still a laser?
Okay, you know what? Real quick, before we get into anything else, I wrote this down earlier today because I went back to check because I was curious. So I've never heard anyone else mention this. So I am officially the first person to bring this up. This is something that is consistent. Jura always closes his left eye and uses his right eye for Biju bombs, and he always closes his right eye and uses his left eye for the laser beam sniper shot things. So each eye is, I have images in here, each eye just does different things. You can see right eye's closed, left eye open. He had just shot Boruto with a laser beam. Same thing here, he's doing it again, left eye charging up for another laser beam.
Probably like the
here, right eye for the Biju bomb. Right eye for the Biju bomb. Code 1, he emphasis on the left eye before it happens. Right eye Biju bomb again, and back to again. So he has one eye each. So
say that it's wait, can I explain it? Because I think I know what it is. In the same way that Sasuke would close his eye when he was forming chakra for the Amaterasu, I think it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The point is each eye just seemingly has a different ability here. My point, though, so it's a little bit of a segue, though. So Jura has used both eyes. And based on this suggests that he's already revealed his Rinnegan eye abilities. Even though these aren't Rinnegan abilities, and aside from maybe the laser beam, he should already be able to do just naturally anyways without the Rinnegan, but whatever, I guess. So, with that in mind, do you guys think we will see more Rinnegan powers from Jura, or will we only receive further explanation about what these two jutsu truly are? Assuming it's the last. Well, it's one question at a time. Do you think Jura's going to use any other Rinnegan powers, or are these the only two we're going to see?
I'm going to say that I don't want to call it a Rinnegan power. I'm going to say it's more of like in my opinion, a dojutsu in general. I don't think it's just the Rinnegan he's operating from here. Because, like, I mean, this is like a souped up, code infused Shibai enhanced Rinnegan, right? Because
based off of the fact that it doesn't have Tomoe like the regular Ten Tails.
Yeah, but like I mean, the code mixes chakra, which made the Senju and everything. So I'm guessing, like, in some way, these guys they're not just regular ass eyes. And from what we've seen, most dojutsu have two abilities, right? You've got the Matarasu for Sasuke, then the flame control, Itachi, Matarasu, and Tsukiyomi. Madara, I don't really know what both of his were, but and then when they come together and you've mastered both, you get like a third one, or the Susanoo. So I think he might have one more, something crazy like, I don't know, chakra absorption. Just why not, right? Like he's the progenitor of all chakra. He can absorb chakra. Why not? Because I mean, think about perfect example. The Pains could shoot lasers anyways. So I mean, who's to say this isn't just a manufacturer of that? The robot Pain literally shoots a laser out of his hand. And Nagato repeats it, and it's used in the game. So no one tell me that it's not canon to the Rinnegan.
Use the anime for this.
Yeah, they was spamming up rocket launchers like crazy.
Well, RPGs built in his body. Laser hand too. But yeah, and the damn RPG bombs. Man, that probably makes it a cannon and not a laser then. Yeah, I would say he has another ability. Something wonky. Ooh, no, he has a Biju state. Why not, right? I mean, it would make sense.
Biju Susanoo?
Oh God, no! Fuck that! I'm talking about that would be stupid. I know. I'll be pissed about that. I'll be like, "What the fuck is this? Y'all just doing anything at this point?"
It's like a weird amalgamation of like the majestic attire they try to go for.
I just hope he gets like a Ten Tails like avatar, like how Naruto had one. Give one of those, and I think that'd be fine. I mean, he's already plenty cracked. He doesn't really need anything else.
Kamui, I can feel the frustration building.
By the way, I got a point. So everyone's acting like Jura soloed Boruto with one finger. That damn claw mark is made. Those are claw marks, all right? Those are his claws. Those things are indestructible. So I don't like that everyone's like, oh, he used one finger. No, he didn't just use one damn finger. Yes, He used one finger, but that the force of his finger, it's like when people have those little talon claws or whatever. Those are still like the force of your hand.
I wish he didn't block with the finger, but teleported the sword with it.
I agree.
Like went through.
You guys really want him to lose that sword. Everybody's like,
he already lost it in the chapter. Why not? He could just do the thing with trapping Boruto, then unteleport it to grab it back. You're like, oh, this sword matters to you, huh?
By Boruto. Boruto set him up for that.
I mean, to me, that's cool.
He literally
just randomly
he tricked him into grabbing it, and then he teleported and hit his ass through the heat, though, from the back.
Yeah.
That's mid IQ at least.
Okay, I finally found what I need to find. Okay, so here's the thing. Whereas, yeah, a coach shenanigans, whatever. So Jura is using specifically his Renegon eyes to make Biju bombs, and he shouldn't need Renegon eyes to do this. So I just want to know why they're doing that. Like, these aren't Renegon abilities, but Tails can just do that. And if you want to say, oh, the laser beams, Six Tails Naruto. Oh my god, would this just load?
I know. Yep, he's right. He's right. He's right.
Yeah, I see what he's going with that, though. Yeah, I see where he's going.
Wait.
Okay, so just watch this. Oh, the laser beam! What do you know?
Hey,
Naruto already can do that. He doesn't
knock himself back with his own freaking laser shot. That's crazy.
That is crazy work.
So, just so you know, guys, the Renegon, if you didn't know this, the Pain's rods nullify ninjutsu. If you want another example, I'll show you another example.
Damn, if he's got multiples.
The chakra rods nullify ninjutsu.
Got receipts.
Wait, you're right.
I do have receipts. I haven't posted this video that I made 3 years ago, but
he doesn't have chakra rods, though. Does he?
Pain, yeah. No, but just real quick. Would you like to see when Madara telepathically deflected a Susanoo Amaterasu infused arrow with these rods? It just stopped it, and the Amaterasu disappears, never to be seen again. And at the anime, it literally
I've never seen before.
Wait, no, because they do. No, that tracks because those things destroy all right? No, those are the truth-seeking orbs.
These aren't
hold up.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right.
These rods are able to nullify ninjutsu.
Huh.
Most people don't know that.
That's weird. That doesn't make sense.
Well, it does make sense because that just goes into my explanation of the rods. They're yin and yang release. But anyway.
I did not know. Oh.
I mean, I guess I would track.
That's a side tangent. Anyway, back to Jura. So I think we can agree at face value, the Biju bombs shouldn't be Renegon abilities. So my question is, do you think that we will see? So obviously, I'm gonna get the elephant out of the room out of the way. No, Jura will not use Almighty Push. He will not use Universal Pull. He will not use the Osteropath's laser beams. Ikimoto will never draw that. We already know this. He's not giving it to Sasuke. It's not gonna happen. Let's just get that out of the way. He will not do that. As much as he should, he will not. So the question is, will Jura reveal actual Renegon powers, or do you think he's already infusing those Renegon powers into these Biju bombs, which we'll later receive explanation on?
I can't wait for Jura to use the Osteropath and for Kamui to lose his mind.
Oh, I'd be so happy, bro.
Oh, God, I think he'd be happy. He'd be like, what?
I would be so happy, bro. It'd be the best chapter of Ghibli Vortex.
Even though that Sasuke never used it?
Wait,
I would be willing to forgive it, yeah.
What is
At
Sasuke
least
never
someone's
used?
doing it.
Wait, what are we saying Sasuke never used?
Anything other than a Medo Tachigara.
He used Almighty Pull and Almighty Push. Y'all are drunk.
Not in Boruto. In Boruto.
No, in Naruto he did. In the fight against Naruto, he literally grabs all of his clones, pulls them in.
And
that's pretty. He also absorbed chakra from them with the Renegon. That's two different Renegon abilities.
Well, to be fair, these are all anime only for one, and two.
Wait,
I'm referring to Sasuke and Boruto right now.
Wait. Oh, about Sasuke not using any of the Renegon abilities there.
Yeah. But you know what? Let's just segue to this, since we're talking about it. So
we should talk about that.
So Naruto Explained made this post. I don't really know everything. So this person said, "What's your honest opinion of this battle?" And then So obviously, I agree with what he says here. If they did beat Jigen, then Ishiki revives and kills them. Obviously, that's not the point. He's the best example of stuck in Shippuden syndrome and exposed how many people don't realize what a hard counter is. So we're going to go through and just try to decipher all of this because I hate to say it. This is not a clear post. So this fight exposes how many people don't realize what a hard counter is. So Rinnegan powers equals crying with laughter. So anyone have any guesses on what this means?
Oh, I can break this down. Well, I watched his. So I watched his video talking about how, because he did a video on this about how basically nothing Naruto and them could have worked. Although I don't agree with that.
Well, don't worry, I have proof that he's wrong there. But that's
I don't agree. I don't agree with him. But that was the whole premise about it. He broke down about how each of the things wouldn't work. And I can give you some of the examples he had. Like if you want to talk about ways they could work, I can bring up the points he did. He said essentially, what's the point of 1,000 Rasengans? He makes himself tiny. Some of this is paraphrasing. Amato Tichikanda, whatever. The swap thing, he tried it, didn't work. Rinnegan powers.
Well, it did work. It's that Sasuke's sword didn't work.
Yeah, that's why I don't agree with him exactly on this. But he's basically
also
saying
because Sasuke was an idiot and restarted his swing after teleporting instead of just continuing the swing he already started.
He did a very late 360.
He just restarted his swing. Like he starts swinging, teleports, restarts already fully wound up, and grinds up again. It's like, what are you doing?
I can name a couple different ways they could have won this. In my opinion,
let's go through these. But let's just go through these. So, Rinnegan powers are laughable.
Yeah.
So, can anyone explain how Jigen hard counters every Rinnegan power?
Well, okay. So I think I can break down. How about we do one at a time? Almighty push and pull. We've seen people resist.
We'll finish with that one.
We haven't seen anyone resist Almighty pull. We've never seen that.
Yes, we have Naruto.
It literally is stated to be unresistible. But again, we'll finish with the Diva path. So let's just start with the Naraka path. Okay, not relevant. So can someone explain how? Okay, we'll just go each one. So Naraka path we'll ignore. So the Preta path. Okay, Jigen doesn't really use absorbable things. Granted, it's possible you can just absorb the rods, but we don't know. So all right, Preta path. We'll move on. The Animal path.
That's a lot of chakra. I don't know if Sasuke can handle that.
Is it really that much chakra?
I mean, which one is he summoning? I say the best one he's got is that damn dog, right? We all agree it's the dog, right? Yeah. Dog or bust?
I mean,
well, yeah, the dog that the more you hit it, the more it splits.
Well, the more you. I mean, hold up, nah, because all it'll take is Jigen putting down those little rods, and then boom, it's sealed.
So here's the thing, though. We see in, I think it's the Jiraiya, one of the fights anyway. We see the dog when it gets sealed up, pinned down by something. It just splits apart into multiple beings.
I thought we saw homeboy. I thought we saw what's his face with the spiky prong thing, hit it, and that caused it to split. But when Gamabunta was sitting on it before, he was suppressing it for a while at least.
Yeah, I personally will just say Pain or Jigen will just ratify them. But that being said, there's a couple of things to consider. One, it might be able to split, but let's just assume it can't. What do we know, though? Naruto and Sasuke have the stamina, especially Naruto, have the stamina advantage over Jigen. So if they're forcing Jigen to make gigantic rods to deal with the dog, they are just effectively wasting Jigen's chakra, whereas they have better stamina.
But they don't. Well, I don't think Sasuke does, for starters. I think Sasuke is very much because he had already teleported twice. So
Jigen ran out. Nope, Jigen ran out of stamina before Sasuke did.
True.
No, he didn't.
He literally started cracking because he was running out of stamina.
Running out and being out are two different things. Because he wasn't out.
He was at less than 10%,
and that's after healing.
Koji.
Bro, he was out like 1%.
Healing for a couple hours. Done. He was still less than 10%.
He said it was too difficult to kill a pinned down Naruto.
He said it'd be a lot of work to finish Naruto, but Sasuke, he was about to get him. No, I'm not. Okay, when I'm saying that, I'm talking about their overall stamina, right? I don't think Sasuke has more chakra than Jigen, especially when we know that it takes a third of Sasuke's chakra to teleport once. And he did it not once.
I heavily disagree with that.
What?
Because Sasuke, I'm gonna disprove that right now.
Okay.
Yeah, because Sasuke teleports to the Ten Tails dimension, then teleports to the ramen pot dimension to fight Jigen, then teleports back home, all while using several jutsu, like multiple Metatichikaras, the Susanoo, etc. It can't be 1/3. That's just not possible.
Well, with some of the jutsu, like the Chidoris, the Matarasu, and things like that, it's not like I'm not sure. I can't say if it's sure or not. But to me, what it seems like is there's an amount of chakra you can put into a jutsu, like Naruto's Rasengan. He can use a baseline Rasengan, or he could crank that mother effer up with more chakra. So I thought Sasuke had been, the whole time was fighting more proportionally enough, with at least enough to escape in his reserve.
No, he has enough to escape. But what I'm saying is each teleportation of between dimensions jutsu isn't 30% of his chakra. That just mathematically can't be true. Because he uses 3 in close proximity, all while using a billion other jutsu. So it just can't be. I thought it was
stated in the light novels, though, man. And like, I'm more of a season.
If the light novels state that, then the manga contradicted it.
That's not a statement.
That we can talk about.
It's just Naruto Explained or Mello or something made a video on it because of the Sakura statement from the Kaguya fight.
I'm pretty sure. Guys, because I'm pretty sure that one's in there. Let me look that up. I'll clarify, but my understanding was that Sasuke.
Go ahead.
It just might,
It might be for end of Shippuden, because considering obviously Sasuke gets more chakra over time. I mean, part 1 Sasuke can only do 3 Chidori a day.
Unless we think he's weaker now, right? Sasuke got weaker over time.
Mello does think that.
What? No one thinks that, actually.
Mello thinks it.
Mello does. That's crazy. We have debated him on it multiple times.
Seriously?
Yes, we have a whole playlist on it.
He's not trolling?
That's wild.
Somehow.
I think it might be a troll.
She definitely claims to not be trolling in our 11-hour debate.
Oh, okay. No, that sounds like pretty serious. Okay, well, I guess I'm basing this off of the fact that Sasuke isn't Naruto. Naruto doesn't have as much chakra.
Yes, I agree.
Has more chakra. So I would assume that. But even if we ignore that, sure.
But either way, so obviously Jigen might have more stamina than Sasuke, but because he's fighting 2 opponents, Jigen is going to run out before Sasuke does, just because he has to fight both of them. So he just has to use twice as much, basically. I mean, he does run out first. So.
But they also don't know. I mean, he didn't run out, though. Dasuke was packed up. Like, the battle was done. Jigen had enough to teleport at the end afterwards, too, right? He could go home. So how could he be out if he teleported himself back?
So that either tells you one of 2 things. Either Karma teleportation, for whatever reason, uses less chakra than the Rinnegan, which I don't think makes any sense, but I agree, makes no sense, but it's possible. The second option is teleportation doesn't use as much chakra as everyone thinks, because Jigen was less than 10%.
Let me add, do we see Jigen teleport away from this dimension?
We do.
We do?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I was going to say it's possible. Here,
shrinks him. Yeah, he shrinks Naruto afterwards in the pot, puts him there, shrinks it. No, he was not running. He was not out of chakra. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't saying he's at I'd say he's easily below 15%. But I'd say he's probably around 10 at that point. That's how my
okay, but that's fine. But I don't think Sasuke was necessarily less than 10 either. Because Sasuke is damaged. Like, he's been stabbed and he's hurt. But he has the chakra to teleport back. And if you're going to make the claim that he has 30% chakra left, then he just blatantly has more stamina left if he has 30%. So.
Okay, unless his jutsu's more chakra efficient, or Jigen's jutsu's way more chakra efficient, and his chakra amount is higher than Sasuke's.
Yeah, but he still used it up faster. But anyway, moving on.
I mean, Jigen was literally crying after the fight.
Yeah, because he was so low on stamina. I mean, it was the point.
He was in pain, too. He also got his ass whooped.
Jigen did not get his ass whooped.
Did they even hit him once?
But he got some... Hold up. He got...
in the manga, did they?
He's at his limit. Yeah, they do hit him once. They hit once or twice, but
I'm not going to count the sword swipe that he blocked. Did they get a hit?
They hit him more than twice.
For example,
Sasuke swapping hands in the air. Okay, so we're only using anime because if so, that's cringe.
I've been
Nobody's
in
in
the
manga
manga
right
only
now.
cringe. That's
I
fine.
watched that
If
anime
that's the
fight so
case-
many times. I thought they hit him more than just like twice.
That's what I'm saying.
In
No,
the anime, they
Naruto's
do.
punching them and shit.
No, the anime
They were
that they
boxing
do.
him. They lost still, of course, but like they got some licks in. I think that they should stand
Not
proud.
in the manga.
Sukuna would,
It's just the off guard when they first show up, but for Naruto and Sasuke.
yeah, the manga definitely gave him a beat down from what I
Yeah, so
remember.
it's just the
too.
twice then.
Okay, but let's keep going with the jutsu then.
All right, so
So-
anyway,
So real quick, Kamui in the manga, can you go to when he teleports afterwards? Because I did want to
Just
bring that
they
up
give
because it's
you
possible that Jigen dimension is in the same dimension as this ramen pot that he like fights.
it
Gojo
is
in.
possible. Okay. So this I am going to use the anime for.
Okay. it is in
Based
the
off
anime.
the way the anime draws the backgrounds in skies, they all are clearly Ishiki dimensions because they all have a similar vibe, but
Yes.
they all have like different shades of purple and different Rocky designs.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
use that to justify that in the anime, there are 3 different Ishiki dimensions, but in the manga, you can't tell a damn bit of a difference, and they could all be the same one. So,
honestly,
but this is just
damn,
what
the
you
anime
see.
the anime did make it look like it was a different place when Boro was guarding Naruto. But I'm gonna say it's the same dimension.
Okay, yeah,
Like,
the
how
manga does
that's
teleport
stupid. Why
right
the
there.
hell would he move them? That's just dumb. Like, oh, you're not worried about Sasuke. You just whooped his ass. Unless you're like thinking, oh, Sasuke's gonna come back and slide.
Well, to be fair, Kamui, he's using the karma to teleport there. Would that even be
He's gonna
Jigen's
spin the block
chakra, which
again.
would be separated from Ishiki's karma chakra, possibly?
Wait, no,
Actually,
no,
well,
no, no. You're not gonna say karma. Uses a separate chakra pool than like
Well,
their
it
main body
does.
now. No, because why? Then why is it that Boruto using more chakra and running out of chakra in his body is what disengages the karma from Momoshiki's
so
control?
King of Chaos, would you be surprised if I said that's precisely why karma makes no sense?
Shut up.
Okay, but
I'll cut myself into that one. I did. Oh god.
there's
But
a couple
anyway.
of statements to
You need
bring
a soundboard
to.
for
So first of
Chaos
all,
got caught.
Kamui, if you want to go to the Koji fight when he's talking about how Jigen's low on chakra, Ishiki inside Jigen's body says that or whatever. That's something you can point to. We went over that with Mello recently.
Yeah, so first you have Amado saying he hasn't even regained 10%. This is after some
So he's
unspecified amount of healing.
Under 10% after healing.
Yeah, we don't know
Let me see. It says
exactly.
under.
Yeah.
Yeah, less
Wow.
than.
Damn. Well,
And
shit.
then
So,
when it'll be next chapter.
I mean, I guess I'm just cooked on that one, but that makes no sense then. That makes no sense. If we're saying the karma uses a separate pool of chakra, oh.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but that's besides the point.
Okay.
Jigen's body's reached the limit will last much longer. I've reaching the dregs of his remaining chakra too. Because for whatever reason, even though the karma seal contains Ishiki's chakra, which is separate from Jigen, if Jigen runs out of chakra, there's just no chakra, I guess. Now, you could make the argument that when Jigen runs out of chakra, that this is actually a fair argument, that when Jigen runs out of chakra, Jigen's body dies, which would mean Ishiki resurrects, which he wouldn't want. So from Ishiki's perspective, that makes sense, but in the case of Boruto, it makes no sense. Just Momoshiki should just be able to use his own chakra. But,
exactly.
that's the point. Either way.
Yeah, wait, hold up. How did
Give
remember
us
that,
the-
that giant ass Rasengan Momoshiki used when he was in Boruto's body? Is that Boruto's chakra?
No, that was
No, he
Naruto's.
absorbed Naruto's for that.
Oh yeah, yep. Ooh,
But that was only in that arc.
I
Even
was
though
in the code arc,
Momoshiki
he
should
is
be able to
using-
just do that with his own chakra, but
But in the
that's
code
his
arc,
point.
he doesn't use Naruto's chakra.
Yeah,
Oh,
he does like
shit.
50 of them.
Just thought that was when his Rinnegan abilities like seeping through that. Because
Momoshiki's?
he's able to like, yeah,
Oh, so wait,
The enlarging? I actually never
because
thought
that
about
was
it
like his
that.
base abilities. Yeah,
So,
because
well,
like,
here's
he's
the
able to like
problem.
take
Okay, so
like the size and amplify it.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
So here's the problem, though. Okay, so if you guys want to disagree with me, you can. We can just move on. But I'm going to make an argument. Momoshiki's ability is to absorb and then release it as is. But what he does, because he does this every time, he eats chakra pills. And then through eating chakra pills, uses those chakra pills to amplify the jutsu.
Well, that's
Because it
only in
just
the
is
anime.
more chakra now.
Hey,
That's what he does every single time. He eats pills before amplifying.
But that's only in the anime.
In the manga, he eats the pills each time.
man, Why are we saying that like anime doesn't matter?
In both of them, he does it in both cases. He always eats pills before.
I didn't even know chakra pills were in the manga.
Popping pills is crazy.
Can you go to that? I want to see what those look like.
Pills mid fight is crazy.
Oodie, you didn't know that chakra pills, the point of Momoshiki's whole thing, was in the manga. Now, I understand we hate on Ikimoto, but like...
I haven't read these first
Come on now, Kodachi was writing the story at this point. Of course he was eating the pills.
Y'all leave that man alone.
I know that it's in the anime. It's not in the movie.
He just needed more time to cook.
Okay,
literally eating
right there, it's in the manga. So
he eats it before the B fight too.
Okay.
Oh, that pussy. He did that against B.
Yes.
You're right, he did. I remember. Wait, does that mean he would have lost to him? Nah, I doubt it, right?
He just went to Amplified.
He had Kinshiki with him.
To be fair, maybe he does do it every single time before. I mean, if you want to say that, sure. I don't think he needs to do that to use this ability, personally.
Well, no, because so here's my explanation. Because how would this jutsu make sense? Well, obviously, if he absorbs it, he can release it as is because it just has the release ability. So it's going to be the same amount of chakra. He absorbs, let's just say, 10 units of chakra. By default, he can obviously output 10. But how would Momoshiki be able to amplify a jutsu? He would have to put more chakra into it. You can't just poof more energy into existence. That's not how that works. He has to put more chakra into it. So how is he going to do that? He has to use his own reserves. So in his case, he likes to eat chakra pills and do it that way. But technically, Momoshiki can just have chakra and put more into the jutsu, obviously. But he has to put more chakra into the jutsu.
I don't think so, because that's not...
He chooses to use pills.
Then that wouldn't be using an ability. That's not how the ability works. It's just multiplying.
I agree. It's not really the ability, but the ability wouldn't make sense at all. No, let's say that's necessarily
well, what do you think the ability is?
But just to release it.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
I will also admit, as far as the manga goes, he doesn't say, Takami Musubi no Kami, this allows me to amplify my attack, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't say it.
True, yeah, so, he doesn't say the whole move.
Nor does he say it in the movie. In the movie, you could honestly just argue the anime added something that wasn't meant to be there, but yeah.
What does he say in the movie? Because I thought he said that it was amplifying it.
Nope, that's an anime only thing. In fact, in the manga, well, this is in all versions. When Sasuke confronts him, I think she just says, your ability is to absorb and release jutsu, right? He didn't even mention amplifying. Whatever.
I hate how there's both the anime and then the movie versions of that.
And the manga. They're all three different.
I know, and manga, dude. Just
and eventually they're gonna have they're gonna have a what is it called? An OVO, probably.
OVA.
Well, they do have a novel version of it.
What?
Oh, also the Boruto Storm Connections readapted this as well.
You're lying.
Let's also include that Naruto Chinese mobile game animated it.
You're lying.
So is that 6 or 7?
Put that on Obama.
Rest in peace to his soul. He's still around, but like we don't really see much of him. There's no way.
I would have put on.
You had me worried. I was like, wait, did he die?
No, I'm just saying, like, I want him to swear on that because I don't believe that. Okay. And sometimes y'all be saying things like, wait, really? And I'm like, nah, these motherfuckers just making fun of me.
But anyway,
let's go back to these. All right, so ninjutsu,
obviously Jigen will just absorb it for the most part, even though they blatantly used ninjutsu. So real quick, okay, so I know what he means. Ninjutsu will absorb it, but like
he's not immune to ninjutsu. He can just counter.
Yeah. So first of all,
I mean, he's getting his lulls here with this one.
Oh, also, I think I know where you're going to the Odama Rasengan when he's tiny.
Yeah, so I get his point. But here's some using ninjutsu in a strategy to get Jigen.
Exactly. And it's working.
No.
So, real quick, Tommy, before moving on,
work on him.
Before moving on, okay, can you stop sharing your screen? I'll share mine. Because I had a point on the exact thing.
Because that's the real conversation. Because he's wrong on that. They survived, so he's kind of wrong on that.
Shout out Dan, who's also in the audience. Okay.
Wait, who's wrong? Jigen?
No, I'm talking about Naruto explained. He's wrong on that one. They literally survived him, and Jigen himself said he couldn't. It would take too much effort to kill Naruto. So like, I don't know about the durability argument. I'll take everything else, but that one, that one. Well, not everything else. But I also think Taijutsu could have worked, but hey, I don't know shit.
So I wanted to point out something here. So if we just go to 428. And we're just gonna watch this really quick. I'm gonna do this. We're gonna mute it. Minus one, like 1%. Okay.
Can you make it big?
So
okay,
yeah.
There we go.
Okay. So I just want to watch this really quick. So Jigen, this is when Jigen's shrunken, and he's like Naruto's hitting him with the Ultima Rasengan, because Sasuke's like, "Where is he? He's right there, Naruto." And so he's doing that right now. I darned him. Not good. While I'm absorbing jutsu, I can't move swiftly. So, okay, that's all we really need. So, here's my question. Why on earth would Sasuke slow walk in this moment?
Dude, it's so annoying, dude.
They were just
is that just like a narrative thing?
Just to make sure.
He tries to be so cool,
Naruto's
bro.
over there. He's actively Rasenganing him. You know, the world-ending strongest foe they've ever fought. Naruto's actively in a life or death battle.
There's always time to aura farm.
They finally got him on the ropes. Oh man, this is their one and only shot. I think this is also after they did like the Emenetaji Kara swap to like stab his sword neck thing, and that just didn't work.
No, that's later.
Okay, sure. I'll give him that. Wasn't before that. Okay, that's fine. But just watch Sasuke here in real time. Like, what's he doing?
I think that was supposed to make like dramatic. I think the scene is slowing it down for our comprehend. I don't think he literally is walking.
Bro, you can see him.
I mean, he is literally walking. He might be fast walking.
Yeah,
look at the wind.
Bro, he's giving him the Donzo walk down treatment, bro.
Hold up, go back.
His cape is flapping.
Damn him.
He's literally walking.
No. You're misinterpreting the scene there. 100%. No.
How?
No. That's
Wait, did he already have his sword out too?
No, look, he's running. He only has one arm, so he doesn't look like he's running. No, deadass. That is post motion. Like, look at that.
He's not running. He's right behind Naruto.
You can see the Rasengan spinning in this shot.
Back out. Didn't he already have his sword back out when he was Rasenganing him?
That's
he's aura farming.
Damn. Okay.
He's just doing it to look cool because he's Sasuke.
That's what I'm saying.
Come
bro.
on. Why is he even lifting the sword above his head?
Fight.
Look, all I'm saying is if you put me in that situation, I'm either one of them, and the other one will do exactly what I say.
Bro, look at that jawline.
We put Jiren and Jigen in a. So
No. I'm not going to allow you to say that, King of Chaos, when we have this. Okay? So no, I'm not going to allow you to say that when this exists. Let's see, where's it exactly?
What is that?
Here?
I know what he's showing.
Let's see, where is it exactly?
I definitely think I can pack him up. Like, say what?
So you know this.
Oh, about the whole speed thing, about it being slowed down, because it would have showed that.
Yeah, so what about that?
He has to like shroud lightning around him.
Because he had a monologue, because Jigen was monologuing during it, and they had to show him if he.
Jigen had time to monologue because Sasuke was walking up to him.
Let's move quicker than like damn near light.
Yeah, and Sasuke moves slower than the wind as he slow walks here.
You mean to tell me you've never aura farmed once in your life?
Not against someone stronger than a god.
To be fair. So this is my argument. It is kind of a point though. Naruto and Sasuke were overconfident in this fight.
Yes.
Oh yeah. 100%.
You can argue they're being stupid. They are being
arrogant. Character. They're feeling themselves. They beat up a couple of Tsutsuki. They think he's another light work. I mean, yeah, they definitely came in there cocky.
They did it with Momoshiki. They'll try to do it with Jigen. So Jigen gave him like the worst beatdown ever. Humbled.
I mean, when you get told you're basically that nit. Well, I'm not sure I can say that on y'all's podcast, but your whole life, it kind of gets to your head. I mean, they're the strongest beings on the planet. I don't think that they were worried about it. I think that if you put me in that world, me and Ood, we beat Jigen. I think we might even take a Ishiki.
I'm down.
100%. I think I could take him with any competent
that's some
Naruto
power teamwork
fan.
stuff right there.
I'm serious.
Yeah, we already know the strategies to use.
Exactly. No, hindsight's 2020. But like, so when he's saying that like nothing they did would have mattered, I don't agree with that. But I do get why he said the stuff they used wasn't effective. I still think Genjutsu should have worked. I don't know why we just say fuck that, but okay. Like no one's bringing up that.
I agree.
No one cares about Genjutsu anymore.
Just let Ishiki
why
prove
not?
that he's good at breaking it.
Yeah, show me your gangster. Go band for band with this Genjutsu. Now you only need him distracted for a second to cut his head off.
I feel like everyone just assumes that if you have more chakra, you automatically are better at breaking Genjutsu. Okay, Itachi put Kisame in a Genjutsu. Enough said. Kisame, the tailless tail, most chakra in the world. Itachi can put him in a Genjutsu.
The Raikage got put in a Genjutsu by Madara.
Exactly. Like, Madara arguably has more chakra, but regardless.
Okay, but
just
like,
because you have more chakra doesn't automatically mean
that's
you're
never been the
immune to
case.
Genjutsu.
Like, what does that matter? I've never seen anywhere it says you have more chakra, you can't break out of the Genjutsu, or you can break out of someone's Genjutsu, if they've got less. Because Naruto has more chakra than Itachi, does he not?
Yeah,
so like that makes no sense. Like I've never gotten that.
I do think it's like some sort of
Sasuke put the tail beast in Genjutsu.
Yeah,
the tail beast have more chakra.
I do think quantity of chakra has to do with quality of chakra. So if you want to say that Itachi's chakra diminished because of the sickness, that could work, but his quality of the Genjutsu wouldn't necessarily diminish. I think it's similar to breaking out.
But that's never been said.
Sealing jutsu, to where you can just sort of flex your chakra if you're strong enough.
I mean, I don't know. I've just never seen I've never seen that being a case where you can break out a Genjutsu just by being strong. I've never seen that. Like I've never even heard that.
Y'all could put Osusuki in a Genjutsu.
Yeah, I'd love to see where that's even said, because from my understanding, you can only break out of it from someone helping you or disrupting your internal chakra. Some people have the ability to like get. Kerr and I had to bite. Remember they used to have to bite themselves and shit like that to break out of it.
Yeah,
they had, like bite their lip for that.
Needed Sasuke to use Genjutsu on him to break him out of Kabuto's Genjutsu.
Yeah, so why can't we try it? I don't get that argument of more chakra means you just shit. If that's the case,
because King of Chaos, because then Ikimoto needs to be creative.
Man, then Naruto should learn, and so should Sakura. They should learn Genjutsu, so then like they're unbeatable because they got like astronomical levels of chakra. I'm pretty sure Sakura has more than Naruto now with her little forehead seal. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that doesn't make any sense. Genjutsu would have worked. I'd love to hear his argument on that.
Again, it's fine if Ishiki's good at breaking Genjutsu, but just write it in the story.
Show them. Like it's like not using kicks and kickboxing. The guy's beating you up with punches. Well, shit, I'm gonna keep hitting him. No, try something new.
Edo Tensei can be affected by Genjutsu, but not by the ultimate Genjutsu, Infinite Tsukiyomi.
Hey, whatever it takes, fuck.
I still think the implication of
So Kodo Matsukami works on Edo Tensei, but not Infinite Tsukiyomi.
Hold up. Wait, Kodo Matsukami, isn't that the teleport thing?
That's Shisui's.
No, that's Shizui's eye.
What's Kodo Matsukami?
Kodo Matsukami, Shizui's eye. Kara is Sasuke's teleporting.
Why don't we use Izanagi then, or something like that, to just make Jigen stop being an ass? Like, yo, you're gonna be trapped in here until you eventually decide.
Well, no, because that's discovering your true self, and he just already knows his true self.
It's not discovering one's true self. It's learning to do things in a different way. It was a way to force people out of their deadlocks. Remember? Because everyone was doing the Izanami and what the other thing, the eye, where they were like sacrificing their own eyes and each other's just to win critical battles. And the way to beat that, someone put somebody in Izanagi and had him change his thing. He's like, all right, I'll stop. I no longer want to do that. Kabuto's the same. It forces them to change their will.
Change their will, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to be evil, because will doesn't necessarily have to mutually do with that. It's not a one-to-one correlation. For example, I would say that Koto Matsukami, I think Izanagi, you could argue, would have worked on Momoshiki at first, but not anymore, since Momoshiki's changed his ways, in a way.
I don't know if he has. But I don't know. I just feel like I think it will work. I mean, I see it worked on Kabuto. It worked on that weird guy from the flashback. I mean, it clearly does something. I think it would have worked.
Well, yeah, it did its intended effect. I agree, it did something.
But it caused him to change from being evil. Like if you use that on someone like Jigen, you can make him your slave essentially. And now you got an alien robot.
Okay, that's just not how the jutsu works.
I mean, okay, you can't control someone, sure, but you definitely can make them stop their course of action. You force them into this loop until they change their course of action.
But you can't determine what course of action that is.
Okay, by that logic, then when Kabuto broke the Izanagi, by that logic, he could have just immediately turned back to being evil.
Yeah,
but he didn't.
He could have.
So what this jutsu does is, in a way, it goes against the theme of Naruto, but it forces the victim to accept their original destiny. So what Itachi tells Sasuke is, Izanagi is a jutsu that changes one's fate. So the Izanami is a jutsu that decides one's fate. So basically, it was meant for Izanagi users because they're always trying to change their fate, so that they can't change their fate. They must accept the original fate. Is what that is. So in the case of like 10 Directions, it would be like Boruto just accepting the lost Ajura, and that's it. That's what it would do.
Okay.
So in this case, it depends on what Ishiki's.
Some bullshit. Then they presented it crap in the anime. Then, all right, you got me. I guess I'm cooked.
Kamui, I'm so glad you presented it this way, because I'm absolutely using that, because I never considered that, as evidence for just more reason why Itachi's the antithesis of Madara and just the themes of Naruto.
But
how? Because at the very least, regardless of Madara, I'm sure you would agree, it is thematically appropriate, considering Naruto and Sasuke's dilemma in their final fight, that Itachi, of all characters, used Izanagi.
Oh, because he didn't accept his fate?
Well, because Itachi's words versus actions. If you want to say Itachi's words were for the themes of Naruto, then Itachi's actions are against it if he's using Izanagi.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I already did a thing about how Itachi... I've done plenty of videos on Itachi.
I think he's over. Like, in a way, Itachi would be telling Naruto he would be like, Neji, just accept your
Naruto.
destiny.
Yeah, Naruto, give up on my brother. Neji, accepted your role as a slave. What?
The problem is, that's not how Itachi thinks.
It would be
because Kabuto was the bad guy there.
It would be hilarious if Itachi used this on Neji and just undid all of Naruto's hard work.
Like, accept your role.
Yeah,
that's awful.
Itachi and Koji they have beef, but
no, but I do think that is actually I think it's a good thing that Itachi used that jutsu. It is good writing for his character, in my opinion, for what his character is supposed to represent.
Mm-hmm. But
a hypocrite?
Well, I mean, he is. I mean, he admits at the end.
Like, if you want to word it nicer, you can say
as long as we agree. As long as we agree, we ain't got no Itachi stands in here, because...
No, I hate Itachi,
I like
which is why he's great.
Because I'm not mad that he has character flaws.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. You said a word. Wow. Everyone who's watching this right now, hear those mighty words. You can like Itachi and acknowledge he has character flaws. God, wow. Wow.
That's the point.
That's insane work.
Sasuke literally says that Itachi adopted Hashirama's ideology despite never talking to him.
Mm-hmm. I mainly don't like Itachi fans, not Itachi himself. Because, like, you're right, he acknowledged that he's a hypocrite. You know, he stood on business, but a lot of he gets a lot of glaze.
I mean, I think it's fine to hate both.
I agree.
Too much of it.
That I agree. He's overrated.
But anyway,
and Danzo was right, by the way.
Danzo would have worked on Jigen.
Oh, hell yeah. Danzo would have had him trapped in there and experimented on him for data and information. All this. He'd be like, man, you Uchiha don't know how to do it. You've never subjugated a different being. I'm telling you, Danzo would have had him in there for lunch. He would have put him in that damn ceiling, that instant. Oh, wait. What about, we should use like insta-kill moves on Jigen. Why hasn't anyone tried any of those?
So we're gonna get to some of those, but real
okay,
quick.
Bet.
So I understand that this isn't offensive. I don't know what things people are arguing, but This is Sasuke just blatantly using Ameto Tejigara and it working positively for Sasuke. He was trapped, now he's not.
If you want to say
Like-
that Naruto failed here, sure, but Sasuke sure as hell did it.
No,
Like
Sasuke was
Ameto
trying
Tejigara
so
just
hard.
blatantly works. What matters is what he does next. Now, Frog Kumite, look, I'll say two things. So, the ability itself would work. For whatever reason, Six Path Sage Mode just doesn't have Frog Kumite, so he needs to use Toad Sage Mode, which would be absolutely the R word stupid, because that's just weaker than Six Path Sage. So he shouldn't be using it. But technically,
Taijutsu
it
works,
would
though.
work.
No, Taijutsu works fine as a thing. Like they were like I've yet to see Otsutsuki be immune to hands.
They're
you
not
know?
exactly like in
Like
this
everyone
case.
can get punched.
Yeah, so like the ability of Frog
Hands rated E
Kumite
for
would work.
everyone.
Jigen dodges and gets hits. It just works. The problem is Naruto would downgrade his Sage Mode, and Jigen would just speed blitz harder than he already did. So like he shouldn't be using it. But
well,
like,
that's besides the point. I do
technically,
think that Naruto's Frog Kumite hits wouldn't be all that effective on Jigen, who should be very strong.
exactly,
Or at least
like
trouble.
the ability would work. It's just not going to be strong enough to matter. But
Yeah, effective. It wouldn't be effective. It's like it's like
It
a
would
bird
work.
chipping away the tip of a mountain.
Exactly.
so durability
forever.
though,
I
I
don't agree
just
with that.
disagree.
Yeah, no,
He
he's
wouldn't be
tweaking on that
doing
one.
this. He wouldn't be
Respectfully.
doing this if his durability was too strong.
Yeah. Why would he hide? Why would he shrink himself? Why would he avoid
He
being hit?
wouldn't have teleported away when Sasuke was gonna stab him if his durability was too high.
No, homie would have literally he would have taken the L.
Yeah.
So now
I agree.
you want to get the crazy part. Rinnegan powers won't work, huh? Well, so like just remember when Sasuke did his slow walk last chapter? Remember when he's doing this nonsense and Jigen teleported away? Okay. So let me explain to you how they could have just killed Jigen. Then obviously Ishiki comes out and kills him, but ignoring that.
Yeah, they don't know that, so that doesn't really even
When
matter.
Naruto makes that Master for Sengon, and Tiny Jigen absorbs it, and Sasuke slow walks and stabs him. Sasuke could have used Universal Pull on Tiny Jigen. Literally stated to be unavoidable. It has never been avoided either. He's literally tiny, so weightless that Kashi Koji couldn't feel him on his shoulder. And he's only Karma 1 here too. He could have used Universal Pull to pull Jigen towards him, away from the portal, and just stabbed him.
Udkun, I love you, but you're mistaken. Universal Pull has been negated twice.
No, it hasn't.
Naruto?
It hasn't. No, Naruto didn't negate Universal Pull. I know what you're talking about. When Nagato uses on him with the boulder, Naruto just destroyed the boulder.
Okay, what about
He didn't
Kakashi with the
negate
chain?
Universe. And then Pain sucked him in harder.
Okay, but boom, 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 boom. Perfect. Shut up. Perfect example. You're right. Perfect example. He sucked him in harder.
Right. So again, you
Come
can
on.
resist.
Yo,
like,
chill.
hypothetically,
Yo,
you can hold on harder. Well, actually, to be fair, I don't know I don't know that Pain necessarily sucked him in harder, but
Oh, he definitely
Kakashi
did.
just went.
Kakashi hit himself in.
Well,
Homeboy
real
was
quick,
like,
real quick.
The-
Kakashi could have just gotten tired of holding on to the chain, to be fair. But regardless.
What? No, the chain broke. Because he pulled it harder, then the chain broke. So if that little dinky chain can last that long, a little random Jonin's chain, unless you're gonna say that's like one of the Sage of Six Paths hidden chain tools for bondage, and like it's got enhanced armament hockey or something, I'm gonna say that thing can be resisted.
Yeah, so it can be resisted up to the point, like hypothetically.
Even Naruto
Naruto
resisted it later too. In the fight at the Grand Valley, when Sasuke pulled him in, Naruto was able to stop himself from getting pulled in and pierced by that.
He wasn't.
Yeah, he just got
By
pulled
the
in.
Ameto Tejigara.
Yeah,
No, he
he used-
wasn't.
Because he grabbed all the clones, pulled them in. Naruto, right before he gets all the way sucked in, Naruto puts his hand over the Amaterasu thing, and Sasuke can't pull him any further. That's stopping him.
Okay, I don't remember whatever happens here. I've only seen the fight once, but
It was before this. No, go back up. It's back as soon as they after the
after
the
I love how he's scrolling down. Okay,
the
go.
Chidori against the wall. Chidori against the wall, and he's like, and then there, boom, boom, yep. And he pulls hard. Boom! There even has the stupid those little thingies. Those little thingies.
Okay. Well, we'll go with it. But either way, this basically tells you though is you can resist it up until just whatever strength he's pulling.
I mean, sure.
The strength at which he pulls just scales to whatever their max.
I do think it would work.
Well,
I just
not
want to say that
not necessarily. Go back to the manga. Ignore the anime.
There's
no indication that
it has the motions. It is around Pain's eyes. Has those little
look at the top panel there. There's no indication that Kakashi's holding himself there. That could be the moment of time where the rope runs out of slack. The chain.
What? No, Kakashi's holding there.
So, like, hypothetically, let's just say the rope was pure butter and his hands were just, like, slipping. It's just like, the rope doesn't do anything. He's still going just as fast.
We see him there.
No. Oodie's got a point. No, Oodie's got a point, because look where his hands are. There's this much rope left. When he lets go, his hand is right at the end.
Okay, but look at the ground. He's literally dragging himself, resisting it. And then we see a panel of Pain with a little indicator markers indicating the pull.
King of Chaos. When you say resist, do you just mean he's being dragged on the ground trying to resist? Or do you mean he is standing still, not being dragged?
I don't think it has to be either or. I'm saying that like Pain's trying to grab him, and he is not. Pain tried to pull him, and he stopped it with a chain. And then Pain amped it back up to pull him further. So what I'm saying is, it's not a hey, universal pull always brings you in. It's not like okay.
Well, the data book would disagree. It is absolutely inevitable. There are no ways to resist. Everyone is bowing to this gravitational attraction. Any matter that exists
then
attracts everything in creation.
Well, then, I only got one thing to say. The almighty pull makes no sense.
That's okay.
But
regardless,
does not make sense. There's no. I gotta look this. Go ahead, keep going without me. There's gotta be somebody.
Regardless, so you can argue there are ways to try to resist it or slow it down, like Kakashi with a chain, whatever. So Jigen doesn't have a chain or anything to hook it on, first of all, and he's tiny. Now, just as a reminder, when he's tiny, this is Ishiki, by the way. So if anything, Ishiki could be heavier.
You're right. His weight does go lower. You're right. So, he was on what's his face? His shoulders.
Light as a feather. Koji doesn't even know he's there.
So we can't say that his mass doesn't change just because the size does. You're right. Damn.
So he's light as a feather. I failed to see how Sasuke's not just yanking him in.
No, he can sense him. But he can sense, you're right, he can sense the dude. So it's not like he couldn't sense him and try to pull. You're right. Almighty pull, grabs sword. Wait, but the second he's he gets pulled away from Naruto's Rasengan, can't he now use ninjutsu again?
Naruto can just move the Rasengan with Jigen.
I mean, you're not wrong. Okay, you know what? I think you convinced me, man.
And hypothetically,
but it still make no damn sense.
If Jigen tries, here's what your argument would be. Well, what if Jigen puts the portal in front of himself so Sasuke pulls him into the portal? Well, if Naruto moves the Rasengan with it, so that if Jigen does that, he gets a massive Rasengan. You can't do that.
Well, to be fair, he was already being massive Rasengan.
Like, there's no way around it. He just, if anything, actually, no, screw it. Sasuke doesn't need the sword. He can just stand behind Naruto, universal pull him into the Rasengan to be obliterated or something like.
Wait, hold on. The karma could be like, wait. What if the karma is like a thing where he can't absorb? Well, how would he absorb that? It is an ninjutsu, and karma stated to be able to absorb. Wait, no, karma can only absorb non-physical jutsus, things that aren't interacted with the material world.
I don't really see how it absorbs universal pull. Like, what do you absorb?
I don't know if it could absorb it. Like, what are you absorbing? The chakra that's being released?
It's not even being released, it's being sucked in.
Yeah, that doesn't really make too much sense, actually.
I just don't see how you can absorb universal pull.
Yeah, it's different than when he has like that little ball of gravity. That you could absorb.
Exactly. But regardless,
if you could absorb something that can suck in something.
I mean, if I were to
like-
argue against it, I would say that the data book only goes up to the time when the data book released, which I guess was a pain arc. Or
Fourth
whatever.
data book, end of series.
Okay, well, that's the end of Naruto. That would not include Boruto, obviously.
Okay, but
I mean,
just for reference,
yeah.
Kaguya can't resist this.
Have we seen her do it? Have we seen her not resist it?
According to the data book, it's absolutely inevitable. It attracts everything in creation. There are no ways to resist.
It also says,
Everyone's going to it.
If that's the case, Kirin is the strongest jutsu in the universe because it can't be dodged or avoided, remember?
Oh yeah, it hits Naruto in the final fight. It hit Arashiki.
Yeah,
And
it
they
can't
let-
be dodged.
Wait,
That doesn't
hold
mean you can't tank
Hold
it.
up, who did you say it hit?
Arashiki?
Or, the guy who used omnipotence.
The
I know
strongest
you,
Otsutsuki?
Mr. Anime only is not acknowledging him. I'm surprised you even notice he exists.
Well, King of Chaos. It worked on the strongest of the Otsutsuki clan.
What? He isn't even real. What are you talking about? He's literally the filler you guys make fun of me for.
Kishimoto wrote him.
Anime. Was he even in the manga? I don't even think his mother was in the manga. No,
Bro,
he
was
wasn't.
supposed to be in a movie, but they scrapped it and just.
That doesn't mean he's not the
He was
strongest Otsutsuki.
No, you're tweaking. He's not real.
Shibai
He's not
Otsutsuki
real.
reveres
He's not real.
Urashiki as the
Yeah.
strongest.
Wait, what?
Shibai Otsutsuki reveres Urashiki Otsutsuki as the strongest.
Who says? Okay, yeah, I'm definitely being trolled.
No, you're not. Not by us, anyways. Hey, take it up with the creators that made the statement, not us.
Yeah, you get trolled by
The creators
Ikimoto.
ain't never
himself.
saying that.
You're being
bullshit.
trolled by
No,
Ikimoto.
Ikimoto would never say something that dumb.
Well, he did.
Masashi Ikimoto.
Oh, you don't think so? King of Chaos, if you were to take a gander, do you think Moboshiki's future sight ability would be a Shinjutsu? just taking into account that shrinking yourself is a Shinjutsu. Do you think future sight would be Shinjutsu?
It should be.
Well, would you be surprised if Ikimoto?
Yeah, I heard, and I was very surprised by that. That doesn't make any sense.
Right out of his own
I'm over here,
mouth.
I'm like, and I gotta wonder, I'm like, are these guys making this stuff up by how are we doing this? Who came up with these plans? Because if that's not a Shinjutsu, if that doesn't count as a Shinjutsu, then I'm very confused because it's like a pseudo version of the 10 Directions, except it's only pertinent to himself, from my understanding of it.
Yeah, it's
I read it
only
on
like
Twitter.
Momo's like own inherent.
Yeah, things that are around him or his vicinity or something like that.
Just
So,
anything
like-
he concerns him, anything he cares about.
Yeah.
Cares or concerns? Because I don't care about.
Depends on how you
something.
want to interpret concerns.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it concerns him, like, the world being taken over by these Shinju seems pretty concerning.
It just depends on what it means by concerns. Does it mean like anything he's involved in, or does it mean anything he
Anything
just
that's a threat
cares
to
about?
him, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
It just depends on what
that's
that
wild.
means, but-
That's stupid. I can't believe that's not. Yeah, that is
We
dumb. That
agree.
doesn't make any sense to me.
So our best explanation is because one of the translations said it's something that hasn't been established as a Shinjutsu. Our hope, our coping hope, is that it just means it's not
Hoping hope.
officially a Shinjutsu yet. Because the Naruto the Boruto manga hasn't officially said it yet. That's all.
Are wild.
That's our hope. But anyway, for more things, by the way, so again, these aren't necessarily offensive things, but Sasuke can see the rods, he just can't physically move out of the way to dodge them. He could just use Almighty Push to deflect them.
That uses
he's
a
just
lot
not
of
being
chakra.
stabbed then. I don't
That
care if
uses
it
a
uses chakra. He's not being stabbed by chakra draining rods. And no matter what, it's just better.
Bro said he don't care about chakra. Sasuke has to think of the future, though.
Okay,
King of Chaos.
one tiny
His
almighty
alternative
push
is
isn't
use
gonna
a
drain
jutsu
him.
or be stabbed by chakra draining rods.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna use the
He can
jutsu.
feel pain and lose chakra, or he can not feel pain and lose chakra. What is the obvious answer?
Yeah, you got it. When you say it like that, it does seem a little obvious.
Also, so whereas Jigen might be able to like stab some rods into the ground and hold on to them, like Six Tails Naruto with his tails against pain, if Jigen's just in the air, he's just Almighty Push just is working on him. It doesn't mean it's gonna damage him, but it's gonna annoy him. It just gets blown backwards
That's
randomly.
funny. Well, I will say a bit depending on its flying strength, if you want to consider that a thing.
Yeah, so it depends on the strength of Sasuke's use of it in comparison. But I will just say, again, Sasuke shouldn't do this because there's not much point. But if Sasuke just does like Pain's village busting Shinra Tensei, it just is gonna blow Jigen back. Like Pain used it to blow Gamabunta and the other two boss toads like 3 miles away, pretty casually.
Yeah,
like,
that was cracked.
Gamabunta's tussling with Biju, by the way. So you can just do that. Pain did it casually. After using the village busting Shinra Tensei, by the way, he's already half of his chakras gone. He's still doing it. So if Sasuke just tries to, I'm not saying he should. It's a bad idea, but it would work. It's not that Jigen is hard countering these abilities. He's countering the Rasengan, obviously, but he's not hard countering the Rinnegan powers.
That's 90% of the abilities.
It's just not necessarily smart to use all. But anyway, that's that.
I do want to add, if he does the Almighty Pool, this isn't to say the Almighty Pool wouldn't work, but like hypothetically, if he did try to do it in that moment, to where Jigen just is going to die, and Jigen thinks that, Jigen would just put a rod in front of Sasuke and just enlarge it as big as he can immediately, and just instantly kill Sasuke, and you just be done playing around.
That is a
because Sasuke was giving him the hardest time. A lot of people were like, "Oh, Naruto was the vanguard." Yeah, but like, he was really just kind of dumb.
That does assume though that Jigen thinks to do that because he didn't think to do it in the situation we got.
He didn't need to do it there, and he was playing around.
Whereas, yes, he then decided to go into Karma 2, which nearly killed Jigen, when he could have done the Giant Rod. Well, then again, we also don't know if he could do the Giant Rod in Karma 1. Maybe he can only do it in Karma 2. We don't know. But...
Okay, whereas, yes, he also didn't need to go into Karma 2. He was still playing around.
I agree. But regardless, that's that topic. So I got a question for you guys. So, like... Why was Amado so secretive about his daughter plan for so long? And why was Amado so mean to Sumire that one time? Why not just ask Kawaki way sooner? Like, so just for reference, real quick, in case you forgot what I'm talking about with Sumire.
She's also Suki.
No. So
because Ada's not his daughter.
Let me just pull it up.
Sorry, Delta's not his daughter. Ada is.
If he's not a bad guy, why did he say this? So you are plotting something. So you're just stupid. I'll admit, this is probably my favorite line in the manga, but like, why did he say that?
He didn't say that in the anime, did he?
No, that's not hasn't been animated yet.
It has.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched.
This has not been animated yet.
It definitely has.
So you're just stupid.
Yes. Well, unless they cut the scene from the anime.
Is this?
But...
Oh, this is Generations. My bad. I'm dumb. Sorry. I was going to say, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
well,
why did
to be fair, Kamui, that's implying he isn't plotting something.
Well, if you ignore the previous page.
Yeah, if you only take that page into account.
Yeah, if you ignore the previous page. I love your interpretation. But anyway, yeah, so why did he say that? And why did he wait so long to ask Kawaki about the daughter thing?
So I had a theory on this for a minute. Delta's not his kid. Ada is. I'm not trolling, by the way. I'm just going to get that out of the way. I genuinely believe that. I think Ada's going to end up being his kid.
I mean,
under that assumption, I want to hear your explanation.
Mine? Okay, cool.
What is your explanation of this chapter? This is just Amado creating fake memories to troll everyone, even though we can't see it.
Of course. I mean, because notice, no one. So I'm glad you brought that up. The biggest problem is we have no way of verifying anything he says because Ada conveniently can only verify things up until when She was born.
Well, she did. Okay, so out of curiosity, then actually, I have a better idea. Oh, what do you think? So, who was this that she looked at? Was she just lying?
Well, to be fair, Kamui, this panel has always been extremely sus.
I agree. Those events were all true. She's basically implying he lied about something else.
At the very least, those events.
And our smart genius didn't notice that, by the way.
Mm-hmm. And look at that. And look at what is Momoshiki. Oh, go over to what Momoshiki said. As I said just now, all I know is Senjutsu, but I've never heard about such an ability. In short, it's possible that Amala is lying. Why would Momoshiki even bother helping Boruto? He's not his helper. He's an op. I don't know. I don't know.
This guy,
I didn't hear about this 2 years ago. And here's why I really... The fear and terror that he has when he first sees her.
Wait, real quick, just to add to Amado being a liar, bro. Please tell me someone else just felt the same way. This just feels so active. Like, look,
he only did it because Naruto's
perfectly stern and straight face. Takes his glasses off, then all of a sudden starts crying for like 3 pages. Yeah, right, Amado. Get out of here with your bullshit. No,
no sense.
He doesn't even have a tear here.
I'm telling you, y'all. I've called this for a minute. I genuinely believe Ada's his kid. She just doesn't realize it yet. I mean, look at even their. I guess their hairstyle isn't exactly.
Well, the same, I would prefer if she was his kid that they both know it and are both not saying it to others.
I would be okay. If that happens, I'm pissed. Then.
Why?
I'd be even more.
Cool.
What do you mean? Because that means Ada's an actual op. Are you fucking crazy? That means she knows this guy.
He is an op.
Oodie.
No, but that means Ada is shady like him too.
Yeah, she is.
You're gonna absolutely die laughing,
no.
But this is gonna be my reason for saying Ada shouldn't know. You are gonna be like, bro. Let me go find the specific thing.
I'm glad you didn't shit on my theory.
Hold on. This is pretty funny. Where does hold on, just give me a second.
Everybody have like that same theory of like.
I already know what I'm looking for. Where does she say?
Man, they used to really emphasize Ada's normal life.
Everybody says I said it for everyone else.
You know what? Okay, I have a better idea. Let me just try. See if my thing will work now. It probably won't because my laptop's stupid. Oh my god!
Well, you're right, this is pretty funny.
Hold on, I'm gonna find it.
Every second this drags on, it just gets more and more funny.
Hold on. Okay, I'm telling you, you're gonna be like, you're gonna say this is ridiculous, but where?
Don't worry, I already am.
Come on. Ada, say. Oh, here it is. Okay. Amado is a dreamy dandy. Now, that means. Do you know what that means? She's hot.
Yeah, and she also says Shikamaru's hot. I don't want to hear.
Yeah, no, like Ada's kind of for the team.
Shikamaru's cute. Amado's hot. I don't think she's saying that about her dad.
Look up what dandy means. He's saying he's handsome.
Yeah.
That's why I know this. That's why it's a meme.
Exceptionally concerned with his appearance. That could be an insult then. Like a dandelion. Hold up. Go back. Let me see that. Let me read that shit again. What she said exactly.
He's stylish.
Dreamy dandy. Dreamy dandy.
Doesn't even exist.
Okay, first of all, Amado does not do this, but
I mean, no, he does. No, he definitely gives up.
See, I told you that Ada sucks.
100%.
Amado dressed in expensive, fashionable clothes.
He has a salmon covered colored
there's
shirt,
the debunk. Yeah, she's lying.
It's real fashion. I'm trying to put game on y'all. I'm telling you. Amado, man, look, don't sleep.
I mean, he does present himself pretty well.
Right? I'm not hating on it. You know, there's nothing wrong with being a good-looking guy. Metrosexual, as they call it. You know, someone who very cares about modern-day fashion. But he dresses better than most people. He got the salmon shirt, the white slacks, and he puts on some green slides. And it only works because he has a white beard.
Kamui, the fact you're having so much trouble proves me right.
I'm not hating.
But
the only thing is the only other person she calls dreamy are Kawaki and Boruto, who we know she thinks are.
Boruto's dreamy.
She does say that.
I guess.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
she says it literally in this chapter. He calls him dreamy.
Counterpoint.
Hold up. Didn't he also want to kill? Doesn't Ada want to kill him anyways? Like,
anytime,
no, she does not want to kill
anytime
Boruto.
she refers to Kawaki or Boruto as hot, she blushes.
Yeah, she wants to kill.
Amato.
He's cute and dreamy, but Amado's a dreamy dandy.
Yeah, and she doesn't blush when she says that about Amado, but every time she talks about Boruto being hot, she blushes.
She's not blushing here.
Okay, it's like 1 for 6.
She's blushing. She is blushing.
She only blushes in the scene when she says, "Oh, that's so hot, Boruto."
No, she blushes like
that's
5 different times.
Actively being hot.
You can't pretend like it's only once. She blushes more than once.
Not about Boruto. She might blush twice, maybe, I don't know, but either way, it's this chapter. Ikimoto could have just retconned Ada blushing. She's not blushing talking when she literally talks about her heart fluttering, she's not blushing. Okay. In this chapter, he just doesn't blush. Ikimoto just changes his mind. The same way that how there's no sweat beats in this chapter.
Another counterpoint.
No
this
sweat
was
beats?
She was referring to Kodachi's version of Amado, that not Ikimoto's version of Amado.
Okay, you got me there. But yeah, actually, unironically, I think sweat beats were retconned into the Boruto universe because they didn't really exist all that much until like Two Blue Vortex. That doesn't mean to say they were never there, but they were not nearly as there.
Yeah.
Like you could just see here, not many sweat beats. Only Bug has had a sweat beat so far, and he's just supposed to be the freaked out, scared guy.
Yeah. God, these chapters look pretty cool.
But anyway.
No, but I think Amado's crying could be legit.
Bro, he doesn't even have a tear.
The default assumption is that it's real, and then the cool theory.
Nah, bro, not with Amado.
You just don't like him the benefit of the doubt.
I don't trust him. I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt.
I'm just calling it. 2 years from now, we're gonna find out secretly. Dun 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 dun. It was actually Ada who's his daughter. And everyone's like, wow,
yeah, I mean, hey,
you're an excellent prognosticator.
I can see it. Amado's reaction when Ada first, like, revealed herself, and then the fact that Ada wants to kill him, it's for the love charm. Is that really it? Or is there something a little bit deeper there? Where did Damon come from? They're cyborgs built from Amato. I don't buy it, bro. I think they were human beforehand. I don't think they're just random robots that were built from scratch.
Yeah, exactly. They're cyborgs.
Were human.
They were humans.
Yeah, but Kamui, you know I don't accept that when you see all of Delta's bodies that were just built from scratch.
Yeah, well, they're made from like
cloned bodies.
Okay, allegedly. I'm not going to count that if it doesn't come out of a mother.
So is Mitsuki a robot?
You could get canceled for that one, Ood-kun. Be careful.
If you're calling Mitsuki a robot, fine. That's just how you're using the terms.
Mitsuki doesn't have robot parts.
That doesn't matter, Oodie. Do you understand the terms and just hate them, or do you not understand the terms? Which is it?
Mitsuki, no, because Delta was born a robot.
Oodie, do you understand the terms, or do you just not like?
Wait, hold up. Wait. No. You said she was born. Oh, wait, fuck. Hold up, that matters. Was she born with the cybernetic advancements, or was she cloned? Was she cloned, and then they were put into a clone of a human body? Because
I just specified what I meant by born, and so obviously I meant came into existence.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then I agree with Ood. Then if she's born with the robot stuff, then that's
she's not. Look at her.
Okay, but like, look at her now. Can we see her eyes? Like, does she have the?
Yes, you see her eyes. They don't have the lines that her Ninja Tech eyes have. They're literally changed later on.
Okay. Ew. So he's basically just taking this clone and oh my god.
He clones them, then modifies them. They're not born robotic. They're two separate processes.
That's Akabe.
That's wild.
Didn't he have like three?
That's
like,
not
versions
Akabe.
Of her too?
This is the original Delta clone.
Yeah,
I think that is original Delta clone. Yeah,
the original.
He made like three versions of her.
But he makes them all the same way.
Yeah,
he gave us the explanation.
That's kind of.
That's kind of.
Where did he give the explanation that they're all made the exact same way? And why would that apply to Two Blue Vortex?
I'm kind of
So-
fucking.
Because
Dude, let me.
Cybernet.
Okay, so
takes
I'm gonna.
hours born
You know what,
this way.
Oodie? Because you mentioned Two Blue Vortex, because I already know how you want to counter what I want to say, because I completely agree. So instead, I'm going to defer you to something else, which is then going to pre-counter you, skip over the counters. Just give me a second to find. Where is it? Just give me a second, because Oodie and I are on the same page. So you remember? Okay, yeah. You know how there's no robotic parts here?
Uh-huh.
So in Two Blue Vortex, she's not a robot.
Okay, and what about her eyes?
What?
Dude,
What?
no way.
Zoom in.
You're
Look at her
smoking
eyes.
crack. Okay, hold up. No. They're being facetious. No, she's a fucking robot. You two are gonna gaslight me into getting confused.
She doesn't have rocket boots.
There's a reason that
Yes, she
Kamui's not
does.
zooming in right now.
She has rocket boots. We see them later on
Was
in
she
another
not
chapter.
flying with
There it
rocket
is.
boots? I'm so
Yeah,
confused.
I could have sworn we saw her fly off.
Oh
with
wow,
fucking
convenient how the
Talky.
chapter went away, huh, Kawi? No, I know that wasn't your fault. I know that wasn't your fault. Don't worry.
Shut up. I can't stand you guys. Oh, it's been 3 hours.
Yeah, but no, her eyes are still scientific ninja tech. She just doesn't use them. Obviously.
Yeah, so no rocket boots.
Wait, I could have sworn there's another scene with her and Kagi flying. So like,
Yeah, without rocket boots. We've been making fun of this for years now.
this must
Also,
be some
Oodie,
kind of Mandela
is
effect. What
Amino a
this?
robot? Is Amino a robot by chance?
No, he was born a human from a mother. From what we know.
Oh,
anyways.
okay. So you mentioned. I think I just heard you say something about scientific ninja tech guys, right? Did I hear you right?
Okay. He can have
Yeah, you know who else has
cybernetic
those?
enhancements.
Oh, what do you know? So can Delta.
Yeah, okay. But then what data do you think is being used to clone Delta?
Her cells and data aggregate. The things that Amado says he's bringing with him to the Leaf Village when he's talking to Koji.
Okay. Do you think the cells he's using to clone Akabi have scientific ninja tech infused or whatever in them?
No,
I think she's born with them.
I don't.
Okay. Then we would disagree.
Exactly. Why we're having this discussion.
I can't stand either of you.
What in the malarkey, man? Ain't no way.
Okay, so I really, Oodie, can you share your? You can do one of your topics, but I'm the one who wrote like a billion lately.
Yeah.
I want to go start cooking something though, and I wanted to do that for an hour. So can you share your screen and do this topic for me?
Okay. You know, as opposed to you continuing to share your screen and do that topic that you wrote down, but that works too.
Well, considering that I just explained that I want to leave to go cook something for the last hour and haven't had a chance to do so, I feel like I explained myself.
Yeah, go get a bite. Shit. I'll hold it down.
Oh, I do.
Heck, I'm
the
like
fact that I'm so used to deleting things.
I'm like an honorary cousin.
Instead of putting
Yeah, I'm like an honorary cousin in this effort.
Okay, well, honorary cousin, why don't you
What's
read
good?
this topic?
Oh,
honorary cuz.
Let's see. Doesn't this sort of okay? Wait. Okay,
that should probably read the images first.
Okay, yeah. So the image, the setting takes place as this: we have Jura floating in the air. This is a setting right after he reveals himself to Boruto, discussing the fact that they have gotten an ego, which is now allowing them to go past their initial instincts of wanting to kill him. He states here, all life on a planet, both current as well as past and long dead, we divine tree exist to suck the chakra out of all living things and form a chakra fruit. At least that was our original instinct. So the question being now is, move the picture.
What?
Doesn't this sort of imply that Shinju have different instincts from the regular Tin Tail / Divine Tree? Because I feel like Ikimoto has only portrayed their instinct as being the same, but their human elements are what make them different overall. All right, everyone, what are our thoughts on this?
I would actually like that idea.
Well, I hate it.
Well, tell us why.
I'm kidding. You hate it. I'm kidding. I don't hate it. I don't know. I mean, like, I think there's like, in the same way that like, and that's get weird. Like my kid, in the same way my kid knows to cry to get milk, like get fed or whatever, get attention. I kind of feel like that's kind of what we run up to with these guys. Like, it's their baseline thing. It's the same as eating. They probably have a hunger or a desire for it. You know what I'm saying? Type deal.
Do you think it was born with that knowledge, or did it just learn that when it cried and got what it wanted? Or at least got stimulus that it would want?
Honestly, no. I think it knew what it wanted. Because what happened was, as soon as he came out the room, we put him right on the chest, he like latched on immediately. Like, without wife, and my wife hadn't had a chance to. I'm not trying to get gross with you guys, so please let me know if I'm getting too TMI. But like,
no, you're fine.
My wife hadn't had a chance to like really speak to a lactation consultant yet, because like he was just born, but he was hungry immediately, like immediately. So because of that, naturally we couldn't wait. He hopped himself on there and he self-soothed, and it worked. So I guess what I'm saying is, like, there are certain elements, I believe at least, where certain things just come to you as a byproduct of your existence. You know what I'm saying? Like, my son wants milk because he wants to live. Now, he doesn't know that he wants milk because he wants to live. He just thinks he wants milk. Regardless, all babies, it's not unique to him. It's something that all babies experience. So I guess that's kind of my thoughts on it. I mean, like, any baby, if you put a baby up to someone who's breastfeeding or producing milk and they're hungry, they're going to try to latch on.
Do you think, just weird hypothetical, the baby was born without taste buds, would it still want milk?
Huh. Yeah, probably.
Why?
It's not about it's not just about if I'm getting weird, let me know. But it's not necessarily just about the milk itself that produces. It's also about the bonding element sometimes. Like, sometimes kids just want to be nurtured and loved on.
Okay.
It produces,
but I'm going to take it further then. So the baby's also born blind.
Basically, yeah. Basically, I guess.
Well, okay, I guess technically it is. Okay, so it's also born deaf. So
Can't feel anything.
Well,
yeah.
It has no sense.
Kind of, but you're not saying that isn't technically incorrect.
How far could I take this?
Here, I guess the short end of it would be this: babies in general have a couple instincts that seem to be universally ingrained into them. Actually, I'll go beyond babies. Let's go humans. Humans have a couple things. Like, our fear of heights, that's a fear that everyone is born with. Every human in this planet is born with the fear of heights. Now, you can do things to surpass that, get around it, blah, blah, blah. But every human being is born with an inherent fear of falling, specifically. Falling, not heights. I think it's kind of just one of those intrinsic things with existence. Think of other babies in nature, other mammals. They come out the womb. Some of them are literally, in the literal sense, deaf, in the literal sense, blind, completely for longer periods of times. Like, puppies don't open up their eyes. They still know to get milk, though, right?
Yep.
So I guess that's kind of why I'd see it. Again, you ain't gotta worry about, like, if there's something you want to ask, you can, you ain't gotta worry about, like, hurt my feelings or anything. I know we're just trying to, have a discussion. I'm not weird about it because it's my kid, but I guess that's kind of how I would look at it, though. I don't know. I'm curious what everyone else is thinking.
Okay.
Well, what I will say is, I'm all for all of this discussion, but just to be clear, I think we might have all missed the point.
Huh?
My point was to ask, do you think Ikimoto retconned his original statement?
Oh.
Because the first statement is that basically implying he has different instincts from the regular Tentails, but then later on, they've only implied he has the same instincts as the regular Tentails.
But he doesn't, though, have the instincts of that. Think about it. He's not even real. If we're really keeping it real here, he hasn't really hunted Boruto down that much. Has he? He waited for Boruto to make the action.
Well, just to clarify, that's your avoiding / surpassing his instincts, but his instinct is to devour. He's just choosing to ignore it.
Yeah. I suppose, yeah. But I don't feel like that's...
Well, it's the same as being born with the fear of heights.
In the picture, he says that was his original goal. In the picture, he says that was his original.
Well, so this is what my argument, to give it credit, was going to be. He's his original driving instinct. So I think the word, if you want to make it not a retcon, it's the word driving. In the past, they were specifically driven by the instinct, whereas now they have the instinct, but they're not necessarily driven by it. That's how I would justify it. But I don't think Ikimoto thought that deeply about the English language because he didn't write in English. So,
oh, he doesn't.
He's
what
Japanese,
do you
bro.
mean?
Oh, okay. I know. Okay, pause. I understand he's Japanese, dummies. However, and this isn't a crazy thing to say, this isn't American imperialism. It's more about the fact that, like, professionally, business-wise speaking, most people do business, regrettably, in English because, like, that's where a lot of money comes through. In some way, shape, or form, the U.S. gets involved with a lot of different money. We're a big audience. Where I just assume, because he speaks English, doesn't he? I could have sworn I've seen an interview or two where he was talking.
He might know English. I think he might know English. But,
English
so, like,
Japan.
why would be crazy to assume he would write it? Then,
English in Japan is similar to Spanish in America, to where a lot of people know it.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So, why is it crazy to think that, maybe he writes some shit? I feel like that's that crazy of a notion.
Well, it would be nice if he did, because then there wouldn't be mistranslations.
There still could be, probably. Certain words probably don't translate really well, type shit, right?
Well, at least we would know his intended meaning.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Oh, God.
Unless he's mistranslating his intention.
Like, at least he might write it in broken English, but we'll know what he's trying to say.
So, are we doing Daigo React tonight?
Whereas I want to, I think we've gotten distracted a bit too much.
Do we think Chaos is even coming back?
I mean, he muted himself seemingly with the intention of coming back, so
he didn't even mute himself is the thing.
I know, so he muted himself in a different way,
I know.
presumably, but
yeah.
Quickly do a couple of random Boruto topics.
Sure, go ahead.
So first, wait a minute. If Boruto did kill the Tentacles before it evolved, could he have saved Sasuke? Would there have been like 20 Thorn Souls or whatever just appearing out of nowhere, or would there be no Thorn Souls?
So
I don't think Ikimoto came up with the Thorn Souls when he wrote that chapter yet, but like, could he have saved them?
So depending on when or how it's written, it could just be nonsensically non-explained in the same way undoing Infinite Tsukiyomi just killed Swirly Zetsu, and it's just gonna shrivel up the trees and free everyone inside.
I guess.
Because obviously, I can imagine that Koji could tell him that it would free everyone if it's not, because Koji would want that at any means, and he wouldn't want to risk Boruto being like, oh, well, let's just let him come out so we can kill Hinori.
Yeah, I agree.
But would Boruto trust that? I guess he sort of has to, but I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. I don't
know. Another topic. Somewhat silly, somewhat interesting interpretation of things. Does Jigen absorbing chakra, Tentacles in this case, boost Jigen's stamina, whereas using karma overlays Jigen's body, damaging Jigen? Is that why absorbing Tentacles chakra works differently than using karma? Start with that. Do you think that's how that works?
So, this is stupid. Oh my god, I don't know what it does. So, okay. Absorbing boost Jigen stamina. Karma overlay Jigen by damaging Jigen. So,
for example, when Naruto Techibrichak has the Karambas chakra overlaying his body, it's like hurting Naruto. But like, if Yoroi absorbed his chakra, he's not going to be burning from the inside. Consider it that way too.
Is it even Jigen or is it Ishiki who's being affected here? I still don't know. It's really the same thing. It's Jigen.
I think it's Jigen because it's his body. But...
Yeah, I agree. But Ishiki's leeching off of it.
Yeah, but just ignore Tiny Ishiki for this.
I mean, overall, we, at the very least, agree conceptually that absorbing Tin Tails was a positive thing, and using karma was a negative thing.
Right. That's why I'm saying, do you think this is how that works?
What you're saying it a lot more.
The difference of absorbing versus overlaying. Is that a lot different?
Well, Jigen did absorb the chakra, and karma did overlay Jigen's body.
Yeah.
In one case, it did boost his stamina. In the other case, it damaged his body. So I would say, yeah, it worked for me.
Yeah, but with that in mind, potential rewrite. What if that's the reason why Momoshiki can't just use his chakra on the Karma Seal when Boruto's low on stamina? Instead of, oh no, Boruto has no chakra, whatever will I do? There's an actual reason. If Momoshiki does use his chakra, it will damage Boruto's body because the stamina is too low, / the vessel isn't, fully max strength yet. He's still a kid. There's a problems. Of course, the fact that Borushiki is by default in Karma 2 can make this a bit weird, but you get the idea. Thoughts on that as a rewrite?
So, my only problem with that is I
have a problem too, but
love the idea of Boruto just being the perfect vessel for Momoshiki for whatever reason. I think that's just a cool concept. And you can still get there.
In this case, no. I'm going to solve your problem and then reveal my problem.
Mm-hmm.
So, in this case, this applies to all vessels. When their stamina is low, this just happens. The problem then is, well, are all vessels bad? Because what's the difference between Jigen and Kawaki at that point?
Yeah.
And then, how is the karma resurrection process work? Like, if this is just... Is it only they have to be full chakra for it to work? But if that's the case, then what's the problem with Jigen?
Well, what I would say there is the reason that the karma doesn't activate until it hits 100% is because the vessel isn't perfect until 100%, and so the karma could just be doing genetic alterations to make the vessel perfect, but it needs a specific type of vessel for it to work or something. Something like that. So Boruto will be a perfect vessel. He's the perfect candidate to be a perfect vessel.
Yeah. But Jigen isn't.
Yeah. This could also be a thing of rather than karma killing you instantly, which it probably should for the story, just to make that make sense, but it could just kill you over time. So maybe you die at like 13%, maybe 92% extraction, and it's only those that hit 100% that are like perfect vessels.
Yeah. That could work too.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened.
It is bright outside now.
I know.
Okay, yeah. We still just like delete half of the topics because we forget to move these topics.
I know. I also did this completely backwards order.
I wish there was a way to just like automatically do this.
I know. It might be like some sort of coding thing you can do, but
Exasperating. He's just our go-to
every
guy.
time you talk about a topic, it moves over.
It could be anytime you delete a topic, which would be really handy.
Yeah, okay. We never really talked about this. Do you think
long.
Well, I started this earlier.
Okay.
So as I said, Jura uses his right eye for Biju bombs and his left eye for the laser beam sniper shot things. So, and he uses his Rinnegan eyes to do this, which suggests that he's already revealed his Rinnegan eye abilities, even though these aren't actually Rinnegan abilities, and he could totally do this anyway with that Rinnegan. But the question is, do you think we will see more Rinnegan powers from Jura, or will we only receive further explanation about what these jutsu truly are? Assuming it's the latter, meaning he's not going to use Almighty Push, he's not going to use a Metal Tejigar or whatever, he's just going to be the Biju bombs. Assuming it's the case, and just roll with this for a moment. I have a video talking about, not really talking about it, but talking about it. So, assuming we're just going to get an explanation about these Biju bombs, and assuming for a moment that his Biju bomb contains Baryon mode because it's cool, and it's something I'll mention in a video just because it's cool. So, meaning its Rinnegan power is Baryon mode. Then do you think he can and will only use it in his Biju bombs, or do you think we'll see it applied in other ways too? In other words, is the only reason he makes Biju bombs with his eyes because he's infusing his Rinnegan power into the Biju bombs, or is it all one package deal and you can't use it any other way?
So, ignoring that last paragraph for a minute, God, that's a lot. So I think there's a lot of different ways to interpret it. If you want to think that it's Rinnegan abilities, fine. If anything, it would have to be Jura's Rinnegan abilities, since the other
Jura's Rinnegan abilities, not necessarily all.
Yeah, I don't think it's a Jura Rinnegan ability. I think the closest you could get is that Jura makes it and amplifies it with this Rinnegan, so it's making it more powerful by infusing Rinnegan chakra in it or something. I don't know.
But it doesn't make sense. But you wouldn't need to use this eye to do.
So, the other interpretation, that which could be fine, is if it's just easier for Jura, like it's literally just preference, because he can just choose where to make it, just make it in front of the eye so he can aim it better. Since he's a bad shot anyways, apparently, he might as well. Not that the tailed beast ever had any trouble with it, but I mean, if I have the option, I'd prefer it this way.
If that's the case, though, why do you think he switches eyes for each style of attack?
This is so stupid, but it could also just be preference. Like, he could be, like, left-handed, like, and right-eyed or something for, like, heavy attacks, but his motor skills are easier for left-eye attacks for when they're lighter. It's kind of like a boxer. They got the jabs, and then they got the heavy punches.
It's like do you think Ikimoto would write it? Is that?
Yeah, you know, Jura's a southpaw.
Well, it would be irrational, I'll give you that.
So, my problem is, are they ever going to even actually explain this in the first place?
I know.
And also, I can't wait for him to mess it up and reveal that it's been coincidence all along.
That too. Well, the reason why I started doing any of this is because Jura undid Uzuhiko because it's quote-unquote has similar principles to his Biju bombs. I've already explained to you, the Biju bomb doesn't use rotation. Doesn't mean Jura's can't, but the Biju bomb doesn't. So if Jura's contains rotation, he could just be doing Rasengan style rotation or whatever, but that wouldn't explain how he expelled Uzuhiko swirly chakra from his body. That's not what he didn't unrotate. You saw me actually message you that question. He didn't unrotate Boruto's chakra. He shot it out of his body, which means the principle he's using should be something related to absorbing and releasing energy sources of some type, preferably non-chakra energy sources, but it should involve that in order to have done that.
Can't
so
wait
then from there,
for
you
the
have to pick and choose
explanation.
the different types of energies that would make the most sense.
Can't wait for Ikimoto to say he unrotated it. Can't wait.
No, yeah, because all BG bombs use rotation. Yeah, I can't wait for the retcon, but I agree though. It wouldn't surprise me. But then I'm sitting there saying, so you're really telling me that Part 1 Kid Naruto and Konohamaru can undo Uzuhiko? Because, like, again,
it's possible.
It's possible, but I think it's ridiculous that Boruto's most OP jutsu to date, his beyond Jigen level strength jutsu, can be undone by Kid Naruto. That just feels wrong.
Well, Naruto used hard work. And are you going to say that narratively hard work pays off in Naruto?
Jiraiya did not use hard work.
Well, if he was lazy, he'd still be affected by Uzuhiko now, wouldn't he?
I also don't think that because of how it works, Boruto's Uzuhiko chakra didn't seem to mix into Jiraiya's. It seems to just be separately existing and rotating inside him. Because he expels it and it's still rotating the same way. So, I don't think just because if Naruto hypothetically rotates his chakra the opposite way, I don't think that does anything to Boruto's chakra that isn't mixed in with his chakra. It's just rotating separately around his organs and whatnot. So I don't think that I don't think you can just unrotate his chakra. Boruto might be able to do that because it's its own chakra, but I don't think anyone else can do that.
I wish we saw two Rasengan users clash, and one of them tries to unrotate it as it clashes.
That would have been funny. That's how Kashin Koji beat Konohamaru.
So, Baryon Chakra, are you saying it just because it's cool, or do you have elaboration? Because I could make some if you... It's probably going to be the same elaboration.
No. I have elaboration that is entirely narrative-based. So of the options, this is the coolest one. I don't know if you'd rather me just wait to finish the video or just say it now, but...
Well, mine wasn't going to be narrative-based. It was going to be, it's a Biju and a conscious. Hey, that's Baryon mode. Hey, similar to Himawari and that's narrative too. Hey, you can get to there. My only problem
was just narrative.
My only problem is how this ever be used, because if Jura hits someone with a Biju bomb, they're dying. They're not being life sucked.
But okay, so I actually do address that too.
Oh, okay.
So
is it going to be like Pain, where it's only hit by like the explosion or whatever? That's like side part of it.
So I'll just say it now. So in this case, assuming it's Baryon mode, Jiraiya would be absorbing the energy generated by the nuclear fusion of the sun and applying that to his Biju bombs. So it's a lot like Boruto absorbing centrifugal forces, but in this case, it's nuclear fusion energy. So what is Uzuhiko? A Rasengan that incorporates the energy of the planet. What would be the perfect step above that from the world-ending threat? The sun. The sun power is what's going to beat Boruto's planet power. However, unlike Naruto and Kurama's Baryon mode, Jiraiya wouldn't be fusing two different chakras together to create a new type of energy at the expense of his own life force. Instead, he would just be simply absorbing the sun's energy directly, essentially. So without that drawback of the life force draining, he would lose the ability to shave off his opponent's life force. It's just going to be a strong attack. So for narrative implications, for one thing, pretty much every single important character these days has some sort of sun and moon symbolism. Just everyone does. Everyone's the sun and everyone's the moon. So, would this be surprising? No. Taking that a step further, though, you could argue that in many ways, Jiraiya is playing a similar role for his fellow Shinju that Boruto is playing for Mitsuki, the role of the sun. So as his son, Boruto helped Mitsuki realize his own self-worth, that he is his own person who can shine their own light. And then as a result, Mitsuki was able to affirm his own identity, blah, 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 Ada Conversation Chapter 8. Similarly, Jiraiya has been treating the other Shinju as their own entities rather than extensions of himself, and he's been guiding them along the path to finding their own identities. narratively, Jura likely has the less correct answer than Boruto on this path, but he's still trying to do a similar thing. And so, giving Jura sun metaphors with his ability could be a good way of symbolizing that theme. Now, am I saying there's many signs pointing in this direction? No. But I think it'd be really cool.
Okay. So, interesting. Do you... Okay.
Do I think this is likely? No. But do I want it? Yes.
Let's start at step 1. Do you think the sun in Naruto even has... No, okay, before that.
Yes, nuclear fusion, because Kurama directly uses the sun as the explanation.
Okay, I'll give you that. Do you think Ikimoto's sun has nuclear fusion?
Ikimoto technically wrote that chapter.
No, he didn't.
So, yes.
No, he didn't. Get out of here.
Well,
no, he did not.
He wrote... He scribbled the kanji on the page at the very least. Like he hand wrote it, at least.
Does he even know what those words meant? just writing the patterns. Read the stroke order.
But he is using centrifugal forces and whatnot, so I think he's keeping, other energies in mind, for sure.
Yeah, it was probably Kishimoto's 3% right there. We are as disingenuous to him as possible, and I love it. Okay. We'll give the sun a centrifugal force. It'd be cool. Is Jura going to be the sun as much of a step as it is? Well, the sun is a good thing. So unless they really are just making the Shinju angels, like I've been saying.
Well, I mean, like... Okay.
I'll be honest. I don't know how I can one up angels. I think I've maxed out this bit. Like it doesn't go above that.
Oh my god, it gets funnier every time. So in this case, I think the point would be that Jura's like a false sun, kind of like Kawaki. It would be like, so obviously in this case, like Kawaki's not trying to be Mitsuki's son in any capacity, but in Jura's case, he'd be trying to be like the son for the other Shinju. He's just well, it could be like intentional, but for the sake of this, we'll just assume it's accidentally leading down the wrong path. But so it'd be like a false son in that case.
Oh, a false son, you say?
Yes, not to be confused with a false gun.
I think I know a certain YouTuber who might want to make a video on that.
I'll stick to the false sun video. I'll let him do his false sniper shot video.
Oh man. You have no idea how much strength it took to not say a version of his name that was like with the FL thing in front of it. It took so much strength. Had to hold that one back.
But anyway,
I'm totally down if he's fusing it into his Bijou Bomb, since I would like the idea that his Bijou Bombs are somehow being made more powerful than normal anyways. My idea was the Renegon, yours is the sun.
There are other things. I go through technically 6 things. 2 of them I basically just write off to say I'm mentioning them, but they're not going to be the case. Okay. So the 6 are nature energy, potential energy, kinetic energy. These are the 2 that we're just throwing away because they're not yet touched upon in the series. They are completely ridiculous because unless Jura's getting the kinetic energy from people throwing bowling balls around the world, so that's ridiculous. So the only realistic thing would be the kinetic energy of the planet's orbit. And if he's gonna go in, if Ikimoto's gonna write that in, he might as well just do the centrifugal forces. That is not my favorite, but that is the most likely one. He's just doing the same thing as Uzuhiko, with the difference being that Boruto implants it into you and makes you dizzy, whereas Jura just attacks you with it. But that's realistically the most likely one. Then this baryon mode, the other one's gravitational forces. This one, I do think's decently cool, because it's using the Renegon. It makes his Renegon actually mean something. It can also be used as a way to get the mellow people to just not think Sarda will one-shot him, because in this case, he'll just directly counter her ability with his own gravity ability. Don't think it's the most likely either. I think in terms of likeliness, it goes Centrifugal 1. Nature Energy is actually the interesting one. If I had to pick, he would actually be using both Nature Energy and one of the others. The reason being, Nature Energy would be a representation of his instinctual Ten-Tail side. He should just be able to do that. He is literally the Ten-Tails, which is Nature Energy. He should just be able to do it automatically. That's the Ten-Tail side. Whereas these scientific energy forces he's using would be like his human side, literally learning about the sun's energy in his books and thinking, good idea, and using it, or something like that.
Okay.
Cool. And then in the case of baryon mode, it also has the sun metaphors. That could be interesting. But
side note, not a rewrite, but like a cool idea they should have done. Shikamaru should be like altering the books in Konoha to be not useful to Jura, or to be like leading him down a different path.
Yeah, it gives him misinformation.
Yeah. Like, it's something that keeps his attention so he doesn't blow up the world or whatever, but it's like, here's why Boruto's actually a good guy. You should leave him alone.
No, I was thinking something like, instead of humans need H2O to survive, humans need anything but H2O. So, like, just giving him wrong information.
You should give him a How to Help Konoha 101 book. It's just the Wheel of Fire.
No, what he should be doing is just swapping out all the books for Jiraiya, so Jiraiya has no choice but to read it.
At this point, it feels like he's going out of his way to not read it.
Yeah.
Okay, I did have something to say, and it was going to be like a rewrite, but I kind of forgot. So what were you saying before?
That I think, ideally, if I had to pick,
I remember. Okay, I remember. From your six different versions or whatever, your 6 different ideas of what it could be. The centrifugal force, most likely, but not your favorite. So, okay, this is...
I will say real quick,
yeah,
about centrifugal forces, something cool they could do with it, is basically, if Boruto unknowingly actually got the idea from Jura, because in the future where he learned it, he does get it from Jura, but in this version, Koji doesn't tell him that. He just tells him Uzuhiko, and then in this fight, Boruto comes to learn this is how he came up with it.
Which would be
would be a cool thing they could do.
I agree. That's what I hope.
Which is kind of something I like. The other thing would be that, well, as we can blatantly see, Jura doesn't need to touch the ground, so he just can do it while flying, which adds to the overwhelming, like, powerful presence Jura has, because it's like, okay, we know Boruto's jutsu apparently has no limit, but he has to touch the ground constantly. If Jura can do it while flying, literally, not just standing still in the air, but literally just flying, chasing after Inojin, then that makes him really scary.
Possibly because he's connected through the roots or whatever to the earth or something.
Oh, that could be an interesting explanation for it, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's similar to Madara, who was forcibly getting the chakra from the infinite Tsukiyomi through Zetsu without, like, touching anything of it.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Okay, so this is a really stupid idea, but I'll also preface by saying it's pretty freaking cool. As ridiculous as it is. So, a little bit of a rewrite, a little bit of a theory, but let's just say that Boruto and or Jura are thinking long-term here. Maybe this is a true horror of the Ten Tails, or some other, like, end-game conflict or threat. the worst possible future. So Boruto's using centrifugal forces to like slow down the Earth to power his Rasengan. What if, I don't know how this would ever play out, but Jura is doing the exact opposite. He's using centrifugal forces from the planet to speed it up. Because he's gonna turn the planet into a Rasengan.
Oh my god.
How cool is that? He's gonna use it to like Rasengan Shibai as his plan or something.
So I'm just imagining though, he starts spinning it in every direction. So like that the seasons of the day and night just constantly switching really fast. Like...
It's like one hour it's like winter, the other it's summer.
It's all over the place.
I love the idea that the worst possible...
It goes from being like shivering cold to burning hot and night and day, like every second. Like
I love the fact that like the worst possible future is the Earth spinning so fast that gravity just doesn't keep you on the planet or you just fly into the atmosphere or something stupid. It's like a constant hurricane. It's ridiculous.
Okay, that's also really funny. George just makes a massive beach bomb. He absorbs all the gravity on the planet, so everyone just floats into space and dies.
Yeah, but in this case, it's also like a tug of war because Boruto's trying to slow it down and Jura's trying to speed it up. So which way is it gonna go?
That's so stupid.
I know. I mean, it sounds perfect though. It's literally a rotating, spinning ball. What Earth is. You could also argue it could be cool instead of Rasengan in the future. It has this really cool wide shot of it being a Biju bomb instead. Maybe if that's like if the Ten Tails really does win, and it's instead of draining all life on the planet, it's going to use that life to explode the planet from the inside out and destroy the universe.
No, it's revealed. There's just the Ten Tails in space, and the Earth is its Biju bomb that it's going to shoot at another planet.
Well, what I've been waiting for all along is for it to be revealed for Earth to not be a planet, but to be the original Ten Tails. Probably doesn't make sense, but that would still be cool.
I mean, the Naruto databook says that the Ten Tails created the world.
Well, there you go. It's just gonna have like this really wide shot. It's just gonna be the Earth, but now it's just randomly, even though it never had it before, it's just randomly gonna have like a turtle head like sticking out of it or whatever.
Oh, that would be funny. It's gonna be like Turtle Island. That the planet just sticks its head out. That would be funny.
Bonus points if the head is where Konoha is. It's like Konoha just launched out into space as the head comes out.
It's like the Mecha Naruto episode when people are just flying into space.
See, I was thinking the opposite of Pain's almighty push that destroyed the village. Instead of a crater going down, it's one going up.
It just pushes it up. It's like in Mario Kart when you land on with those mushrooms and it like bounces you.
Oh, I love it.
But anyway,
another thing they could do for the Earth is, Pain made Chibaku Tensei. Hagoromo made the moon. Shibai made Earth with the Chibaku Tensei. Something like that.
Yeah.
It would just be one big Chibaku Tensei. Oh, those are the new ones?
Yeah, they're not that good. There's Spider-Woman over here.
The new one at least has no background. That's at least finally got it right for the first time.
It's got really long hair.
Scorpion. Cool. Pincer.
So, this one's still the best. And we do have it in art.
Okay.
All by itself, even to reuse.
Oh,
So I happen to see your reply, so I'm going to go to this. So, did you realize, before I wrote it, that Ikimoto didn't draw a single civilian throughout the entire Jura/Hinari invasion?
That's where you put it. I swear I spent like 15 minutes trying to find where you wrote that so I could reply to it.
I know, I did it on accident. It wasn't supposed to be, it was supposed to be injured. So, where were they
Well, if we scroll to my reply, which is actually in Boruto topics.
I know.
So in reference to Kamui's civilian point, wherever it is, that Team E guy who disappeared went to evacuate him.
But it's like ridiculous. Jura went into the bookstore. No one was there. He was in the streets of Konoha. No one was there. Jura would have been like Ishiki, walking around asking people where Naruto is.
Exactly, that's what I was going to reference.
And like that is something he would have done. And he didn't run into a single person.
There's no lead police force. There's no ninja.
Like, yeah, sure. No there's the gatekeeper dudes who just like walk in and get killed. But like, these aren't civilians, obviously. These are ninja. But I'm not counting them. But like, they die. There's just no one in the streets of Konoha.
First of all, I'm not even going to count these as gatekeeper dudes. I'm going to count these as dudes that were the first respondents. There just are no more gatekeepers watching over Konoha, which was like Genma Raido's role at the beginning of all of Naruto, really.
Izumo and Kotetsu, but I agree. They're like the first responders. But either way, doesn't see a single civilian. All of it. Like, mind you, he's flying over the village. There's just not a single one just walking around and running to safety. Just nowhere.
Only the main characters. But again, that's extra weird.
The Team E guys saved them. Even though this happens 3 chapters later.
I know. He's the time travel turtle.
You know, I want to see, like, do they have a statement about them evacuating the civilians later? Because if they do, I'm going to say, all right, well, it seems like they were evacuated long before that.
I mean, have we seen civilians since Code's attack in Chapter 1? Was that the last time we saw civilians?
I think you're right. But that's what I was going to say. Like, in Code's invasion, there were civilians.
I mean, maybe they
just... Did Code kill all of them? Did Code kill every civilian?
I don't think so. If anything, maybe they evacuated and they just haven't moved back in. It's just been that short of a time.
Suppose that's a possibility. I just want to see if Shikamaru or Konohamaru or anyone mentions anything.
I mean, when Orochimaru attacked, where did the civilians go? At least the kids went inside the Hokage Stone bases. Maybe they're there.
Yeah.
Just all the civilians. They're all there. Puzzle. And now there's a couple extra heads up there now as well. You can fit as double as many people.
But they're not even talking about evacuating the civilians, man. Do they have a single thing that's just not addressing it? Yeah, Naruto explained it. Said, "Oh, you don't have to be spoon-fed, bro. Every village invasion, this is a major point. Gotta evacuate the civilians. Where are they? Nobody's mentioning them.
Kamui, in 6 hours
Still don't know
now,
what happened
to
to
be 1 a.m.
Konohamaru's Team E guy.
In 6 hours from now, it's 1 a.m. Just pointing that out.
1 p.m.
Exactly why we need to end, because that's proof of how tired I am. Okay, good night, everybody!
Oh, Ikimono did fail.
At this point, we fell.